What is going on, everyone out there in our MNC Hoops world? We're excited to be back with our midweek episode, mid-season episode, All-Star break weekend episode, whatever you want to call it. A lot of stuff going on. Hopefully you guys, enjoyed the All-Star break. Of course, some people, had some time to heal, weren't making the All-Star game. Some people just, didn't show up on the day, I guess, or said, you know what, I'm not going to address. But, we'll get into that too. But of course, we had the 3-point contest, we had the Rising Star games, the dunk contest as well. I missed the dunk contest, and I feel ashamed for saying this because I tried to go back to YouTube and watch it later that night, and I was watching 2024 again, and then I realized, wait a second, I'm in the wrong one. So I did catch up the next day, watch 2025. We'll get into all that talks, but before we get going, CJ, of course, how have you been doing? How's your week going, sir?
Well, brother, feeling a lot well. Feeling very well.
Good.
Out of that sling, so getting close to back to being 100%. So just gradual steps, and just grateful. Still, NBA is talking. I think they're trying to stay relevant. It's not the best way, in my opinion, but we're gonna dive into it.
Yeah, it was tough to watch this year, I think. We'll get into more of that as we go here. Well, I mean, I guess we're ready to get into it now. We've done our intros. How you doing? And good. What's going on? So let's just go ahead and jump into the All-Star Weekend reaction. CJ, I want to go with you first on this, of course. I know you got a graphic that you're pulling up. We had the Rising Star games. We had the 3-point contest, the dunk contest, the suspension or disqualification for the skills challenge. And, of course, then the All-Star playoffs, I guess you want to call it, the 4 teams that were in it. How did you feel watching this in the Bay Area?
So yeah, it was the Rising Stars game on Friday, and that was going to decide what team's going to play on Sunday. And then we had Saturday skills competition. It's been around, I say 20 years. I remember in 2005 watching it. So this is a challenge that's been in the All-Star game for 2 decades. I remember Chris Paul winning it in like 2007. So it's like, this was a nice win by the Cavs, knocking down shots. Mobley hit the shots. The first time around, he wasn't knocking down the shots. Second time around, he came around, started knocking down the shots. So 38% from 3 this year. That's great. That's excellent.
Yes.
Like now, you can keep Allen, and you never have to have those talks again. If he's shooting 38% from 3, you never have to have the talks about Allen, Trey and Allen. It's clip, which is great.
Yeah,
it's great. So, and that's why they're 41-10, and because of that development in his game. So you kind of saw that in the skills challenge. So it's a nice little challenge. Donovan Mitchell, we already know, is one of the most skilled players in the league. So that's a given. That's a given for sure. Yeah, nice win by the Cavs. Did you happen to catch highlights of this too? Or?
I'm sorry, say that again.
You happen to catch highlights of this one?
I caught the disqualification on that. I'm kind of glad that the Cavs won because I think I picked them to win. That was my pick. So I'm proud of that. But no, I did not catch the rest of it. I did see the disqualification. I thought it was quite comical. And, it's one of those things where it's Chris Paul being Chris Paul and almost outthinking it, but at the same time trying to be the villain in Oakland now, I guess, but during the Warriors arena at least. And yeah, the Oracle. But I mean, just the fact that he outsmarted the system basically, and then they still disqualified him. What do you think about that part of it?
Yes, kind of just sums up the whole weekend. That's how it started there. I was like, okay, I really didn't pay it too much mind. It looked like, I don't know, It was confusing. It was confusing. They just threw the ball up as opposed to just shooting through. You know,
Yep.
the rule. I don't understand why you even try to do that. Doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah, maybe it would have been different if, of course, guys, what we're referring to, I guess we didn't go into the description for you all in case you all haven't watched it or missed it. That the skills competition, of course, you got your two partner or the two teammates, and then you've got to go through the whole lines and you got to attempt to pass, dribble through another pass, and then you got to attempt 3 shots and then come back and shoot a layup. So what they did, of course, is Chris Paul and Wemby, they just went up to the 3-point shot. And you got to do at least 3 attempts in to make it. And once you make it, you can move on. So they just grabbed the ball, threw it up, and took off to try to waste or to keep time going. And so I wouldn't even say the ball went 10. I wouldn't even say it went 8 feet up in the air. It's just they flipped the wrist basically, and it went maybe 5 feet away and 10 feet in the air at the most. So they were beating the system. And I mean, I kind of felt like it was comical that they thought that, and technically it should have been fine because they attempted shots. But maybe they should have attempted a shot a little bit more persuasive than that. And then it just kind of got out of hand, I think. What's up, Johnny? We appreciate you in the comments, man.
What's going on, my guy? Appreciate you. I feel like they should have just competed. It's Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama, but it's all good. Yeah, I mean, it's really nothing else you can say now. It just caught me off guard.
Yep.
Then we got the 3-point contest up next. Tell us about that, brother. One of your guys.
Well, I think I can't remember, but I think I picked Tyler Hero too because I was going with the Kentucky boy on that one. So I think I was 2 for 2 from last week, in which I think he won on 22 points, which I mean it's respectable, but there's been times that it's been higher than that. 24 in the first round. I'm sorry, 24 in the last round, 19 in the first round. So honestly, when he made 19 in the first round, I thought he wasn't going to make it. But it just didn't kind of pan out. A lot of people hit too well, and he was able to move on. And then, of course, he did finish it out in the top or the 24 in that last round to win. Am I just old school? Because, and it's been a thing over the past now that they can do the money ball wherever they want, like a whole rack of money ball. But I just kind of missed the last shot of each rack being the money ball, which it still is. Like they have what? 1, 2, 3, 4. They got 5 money balls in each rack, and then one rack has a complete rack of money ball. Plus, they added 2 more. Like we keep adding to it. Why not just make it normal scoring or something or add another ball to the actual rack and shoot it? So I don't know. I get.
They want to. Yeah.
I get tired of seeing the chauffeur part of it. Like it's a circus part of it. The court's got all these different basketball types. It's sponsored by this. You got to shoot a 4-point shot from here, and it just, to me, it almost loses the purity of the game. Hey, who's the best shooter? Well, you don't have to be the best shooter anymore to win this. You just have to make the shots that cost more points to win now. Because I mean, if you make the 2 money balls or the 2 4 points, that's 8 points, and you got a rack full of 5. That's 10 more points that you get an opportunity plus the 2 from each one. So you basically have an extra 12 points just sitting out there, if not more. Actually, I'd say almost 15 points to just extra. So I feel like it's losing its purity of what it used to be when you've got Larry Bird going into the locker room and say, who's competing for second place because I'm the best, I'm going to knock all these shots down. But now it's so much of, you got to advertise this, you got to show this, it's colorful and all this stuff. And I even thought the trophies looked bad. What'd you think of the trophies?
Yeah, to me, I care more about the competition. Yeah, like it wasn't something that it should definitely be more gold. I feel like you should get some more gold in there. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it looks like the Universal Studios, the globe, just spinning around. It says Universal. It doesn't even look like anything with a 3-point shooter. It's just, I guess that's a basketball, really. But
yeah, no. But for me, I'm just more concerned about the competition. Like, are they competing in the event? And it's always going to be something that they're going to. It's going to be successful because everybody likes to shoot the 3.
Yep.
So you're always going to get contestants. You're always going to get new players. You're going to want to go in there and try to win the event. Congratulations to Hero. Watching Hero since ball his life. High school, waiting all. was going crazy. I think that was in like Minnesota or Wisconsin.
I think maybe
So,
Iowa.
Somewhere in that region. But
yeah.
He was a problem then. He was going crazy in high school. And then he went to Kentucky, played well. I was like, yeah, he went to Miami. He was going to be good. So he was going to be good. I knew he had the game, the shot creator. It was just going to be the defense and the playmaking.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing that well. Like, and he's a starter now. He went from a 6th man of the year to a starter. So he's improving as a player.
He is from Wisconsin.
So I appreciate the facts. And then this is great for Miami too. I remember when Capono won it. I think it was like 2007. Capono came in there and got one where he was out there supporting Capono. I remember that. Those are like classics that you think about when you think about the All-Star game, right? I remember vividly watching what I was doing where I was at during those All-Star game weekends. That's what made me fall in love with the game, right? So as long as they compete, and I feel like they're going to compete in this event. And Tyler Hero came in and started off. I think everybody started off a little rusty, but he needed the right number in the first round, and then you're able to get a rhythm. And then once you're able to get a rhythm, then that's really what this comes down to. Mm-hmm. Who could get to a rhythm. He did a great job of that. So congratulations to him. And for Miami, I think it's great for their future. Still a young player. We talked about Khalil Ware. It's just going to take some time for them to really develop and grow. Now you need answers. Who's the guy? Mm-hmm. That's the first question. That's the first answer you need is who's the guy? If the guy is Hero, then great. Then bam, then where? But ultimately, they need to be that question needs to be answered. We've seen Tyler Hero hit clutch shots, and him winning this event definitely proves he can knock down the 3 ball. So.
Yeah, as far as for them as a team, as far as figuring out who that guy is, Tyler Hero, I think, is 25. Bam has been in the league for 7 years, so he's probably, still under 30. I'm not for sure exactly. Hero's been up for 5 years, so he's probably 27, 28. Let's just, So, and then, of course, your 2 other draft picks that we had, Jaquez Jr., and then, of course, Juarez we was talking about. So, their core that we're going to be building with, of course, we got Duncan Robinson as well, is going to be pretty young. So, as far as who's the guy, maybe we're going to try to make a move this offseason on someone and just go with a team committee right now and see what we can do the offseason, because I think Miami obviously is a landing spot for any superstar player. And then, of course, you add it with the core guys that we have. I think it'd be a nice place that a player would want to go for that too. You muted.
Yeah, I think you guys are on the right track. Got young players, high IQ, great coach. So success is always going to be there because of what's expected. Slam dunk contest. Again, watched him. I think it was Gate City.
Yes.
And
Virginia.
Ball is life legend. Ball is life legend. What he was doing in high school was special. If you was watching Ball is Life back then, his highlight tape he got one of the best high school highlight tapes ever. That's not even hyperbole. This is before all of everything. Yeah. So, and then he went to Georgetown, Texas Tech.
Yep.
And he just won G League MVP last year. So he's still thriving, still trying to get to where he wants to get to. So yeah, high flyer. This is forever. This is forever.
Yep.
So special. It's really nothing else to say.
And it's almost crazy because last year, and of course I follow him on Instagram and Twitter, and so I see some of his storylines that he's got going on Reels. Like, he's dedicated to the dunk contest. Like, he's training for that, year round, basically, where he's trying different dunks. And there's been highlights where he's like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, working on this, and then even jumping. Like, he even, I think, did a commercial for those insoles that's supposed to make you jump higher. He's like, oh yeah, I tried those out and I like them, blah, blah, blah. But like, what's crazy is up here on for NBA Central, what they put as the post is McClung's career earning is $132,000. For the dunk contest, he got $310,000. So like, he really is making a living dedicating to this right now. I mean, he's making more money being in the dunk contest. And even one of the person's comments said he's literally carrying the dunk contest on his back. Now, I did think Castle had some really good dunks. That was my pick that I thought had the chance to win. And of course, you said, well, Mac is there. Like, how can we go against him until he loses? And so, I mean, he proved us wrong, or you right again on that. I mean, he makes it entertaining on that part. And, I kind of contradict myself when I say with the 3-point contest, then I come to say it needs to be entertaining for the dunk. Well, people go up and dunk, they don't react to their own dunks, and the crowd kind of feeds off of that, and they don't react too. But, like, the showmanship that he does, bringing out a Kia car, jumping over it, and then getting it between his legs, pumping it up. I mean, it's fun to watch that for sure. And that was his first round dunk. The fact that, what was it? How did he do the other one where he bounced it off the rim, caught it, and then dunked it? Like, the creativity. That's what he has, is that creativity, because everyone after a while does the same dunk, and you've got to figure out a different way to do it. And Mac's doing that. What are your thoughts on the dunk contest?
You trust his preparation. You trust his training. Now he works out. So he can be in the best shape possible to be able to make these spectacular dunks. And because I remember when Blake did it, he jumped over the hood of the car, right? I thought he was going to do it. I thought he was going to do this when he first brought it out. But still, he already had it in that wrapped up. Everybody knew he was going to win it. It was just ice on it. He really didn't need to go. I feel like if he needed to, he might have did that. Because Blake had crazy ops too. Yeah. But McClung did to do it. And he really did it effortlessly, because I saw the clip of him practicing it. He did it easily. He landed. And I think this one, like, his leg slid off it a little bit, got up quick. It still showed, like, that's how you do it too. Like, you don't just stay on the floor. You get up quick.
Right.
And you just like, yeah, what up? Like, look what I just did. You guys are like, you've never seen anybody do that. What's up? Gate City. So it's just.
And listen, if you've ever been through Gate City, which obviously I don't think you have, the speed limit is 45 through the city, and seriously, you probably threw it in maybe 3 minutes, and then you're gone as far as what the road goes through it. So I'm sure Virginia and that west side of Virginia is absolutely loving what Mag's doing for them. Now, I want to ask you this. And I know dunking is completely different than being completely basketball ready and so many other skills, because I hear this a lot since the dunk contest on social media is Mac deserves to be on the team. How come one team can't sign him or keep him on a team? I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on him playing in the NBA? Why or why not it's happening?
I mean, first off, his career is not over.
Correct.
And the team did sign him, the Orlando Magic.
But he's on the G League. Like, he's not come up quite a bit. He's came up a few times, but.
Listen, right now, he's still signed to G League MVP. The NBA wants to push the G League. So if you're the G League MVP over time, that would mean something. Because they're trying to find talent within that league as well. They're trying to use that as their farm system.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got that as an accolade. Pretty good. So it's going to take some time. But the reason why it's going to take some time is there's so many good guards in the NBA, even backup guards. Guards are there's just so many talented combo guards, point guards, shooting guards. He has to be spectacular. And then you also have to have the size and ability. And he can score. he averaged like 25 in the G League last year,
Hmm.
25, 26. So he can definitely score. Yeah, in the NBA, it's just a different level. He's shown moments sometimes when he got his opportunities, when he got called up. He showed some moments, but you got to be able to defend. Definitely got to be able to defend because they're going to come out there and use you as a mismatch and isolate you. But you're on the island, you got to be able to guard. If you're not able to guard, you can't be out there. He knows that. Everybody, like, it's just like, it's just what you got to do. And yeah, I feel like he got sponsorships too and endorsements. Now, even if he didn't, he got it now too. 3-time NBA slam dunk champion.
Oh yeah,
NBA is $1 billion company. You got 3 of those trophies.
He's got 3. That is crazy. I didn't think about that, but yeah, he's back-to-back winner. So I mean, already he's going to be in it next year. We know that. So I mean, if you want to get your product or your business out there, man, hey Mac, we're going to give you X amount of dollars to put on my T-shirt for one of your dunks. You know what I mean? Like Kia, you know they did something here with everything. Of course, it probably was the NBA on that one, but still the fact that the sponsorships were there.
Yeah, definitely sponsorships are there for sure. I mean, listen, like Kia could do a whole commercial on that. And you know how much money he would make on that? Probably be more than these numbers combined, just off the commercial.
Oh yeah.
So for him jumping over the car successfully, 50s, all his dunks were 50s. The one where he jumped up and like waited and then spun back 360, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah.
He did. He got it. He had the hang time. Yeah. It's the hang time. The hang time gives him the creativity. I mean, this is off the vert. Like, this is not even awesome. This is off the vert. You know how those guys come in, no disrespect to those guys, they got a job to do and they take care of their families. But you know, they do the triple H and stuff like that, and they beat stuff like that. He's doing this off God, bro.
That's crazy. Because I mean, his
jumping
eyes
over a car.
Yeah, his eyes are almost parallel with that goal right there, or at the rim. That's crazy. Too.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. The guy's on another level. He's a special athlete. Special athlete.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what his vertical is, but it has to be close to 48. I mean, at 6 foot, it's another 4 foot.
43. Did they say 43?
Oh, did they? I must have missed that.
Yeah, I believe it's 43.
That's mad ups. That's all you can say.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, that's look, the one where he tapped the rim and then dunked it, and then he also did the tribute to Aaron Gordon. They were all 50s. Like, you couldn't even hate or you're like, if you're a hater, I don't understand. Like, what were you? Because if you're a hater, what does that mean? That means if you're a hater, why are you hating? Okay, because you don't like what's going on. Okay, but he actually performed, so you couldn't hate on it. So everything was a 50.
Did he miss any of his tries either? He missed the Aaron Gordon one once, didn't he?
I think he missed the car one time. Everything else, I think he.
Yeah, he didn't try to dunk the car, did he? He jumped over it and didn't even try to dunk it. Like, he had to go back and do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, if he was every time.
Yeah, exactly. After this dunk, he never missed a dunk, which is crazy. The Aaron Gordon one was crazy because he windmilled it and then dunked the other ball with the right hand.
Yes.
Crazy.
The coordination, to be able to do that, like, once you jump, grab a ball and dunk it, but then be able to dunk it with one and reach for the other one. Like, that's tough while you're 10 feet up in the air.
Crazy focus. This focus is incredible. Yeah. And you match that with the creativity and the athleticism, you got a 3-time champion.
Yep.
And
so out of these,
it's not even, you can't even, it's beautiful. You can't even hate G League.
Yeah.
Like, he's coming like from the mud. Like, nothing's given to him right now. He's just coming here this weekend because these NBA All-Stars don't want to do it. Why? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about why. I feel like,
go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like LeBron not doing the slam dunk contest. Definitely, when he said he was going to, it'd be different if you like just didn't do it. You go in the All-Star weekend. I think it was like 2009, and he said pretty much said his name in third person. It's like I'm going to do all the slam dunk contest and everything. And we're like, yeah, let's get it. And he just did a decision. So then the decision happened, right?
Yep.
At that same time frame, he just never did it. He was just like, okay. And that's what just made it weird. So when you got the best player, top 2 player in the generation, 2 generations, one of the best dunkers ever. Never do this, like never do the slam dunk contest. It looks crazy. And then you see the clips and the videos that he does, but it's just like he's trolling it. I just never understood the whole thing. I just feel like he could have did it. It would have changed because listen, the young players would have followed him. These young guys, they look up to LeBron. So if he would have did that, they'd be like, oh, LeBron did it. That's how they look at it. But even still, you're your own man. You should want to do it. If you're a high leaper, like you're your own man. Once you get to the league, you're your own man. You want to set your own career and legacy. Okay, one man didn't do it, cool. I think Wembanyama had like the hang time and stuff like that. You probably do it. But he's so tall, it's gonna be tough for him to win it. You know what I mean? But because I see a mentality that he's gonna need to transform the All-Star game for the next generation. It's gonna be on him. And we'll dive into why later, but it's important.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. You guys know I probably hate more than anybody on LeBron, so I'm not going to say too much on it. But as far as him being the factor of it, but yeah, I feel like I think it's a pride thing, really. I think some of these guys who can dunk well or can just jump out of a gym, when they go thinking that they're going to be in this dunk contest, if they don't want to lose. And I think that's why they don't want to do it. It's the fact that they think, well, I could go in here and just not do something creative and not pull the 50 and be out the first round. Like I don't want to do that. So I think that's really one thing that really hurts it is some of these guys are too prideful on losing on that, which to me, the mentality that you talked about, like, Michael Jordan went into it not to just be participating in it, but to win it. You're going to be the best at everything you do and try to win as many awards as you can. So the fact that some of these guys I feel like are timid or too afraid to do it is crazy, and it really hurts it for the fans.
So I think it was really refreshing to see Giannis, and then Giannis kind of redacted the statement. I don't know. He jokes he's played for. I don't know, but he said he wanted to do it. John said he was thinking about Mac. Mac inspired him to do it. Giannis said something. Zach LaVine responded. Aaron Gordon said he still has something left. Paraphrasing. So if they do that, if they pull up, we'd like to see Zion in there, Anthony Edwards, John Morant. If Aaron Gordon said he has one of the greatest top. It might be the best. Mac jumping over the car is crazy. Vince Carter's dunks, just a collection of everything. It was just, and it was a 25-year anniversary for when he was there. It was, if Aaron Gordon, those guys come back the next year, 26 in Los Angeles. But it makes sense. You're doing it in Los Angeles. All the celebrities are going to be there. All the stars are going to be there. It's probably be LeBron's last All-Star game. Who knows? We don't know. It makes a lot of sense. So hopefully it just becomes a pattern. It doesn't just stop at 26. They keep it going, keep the transition going. Next generation, they continue to come in and follow suit. That's the goal. Yeah, salute to Mac McClung. Just continuing to get better.
So speaking of All-Star and Los Angeles, and of course you referred to that LeBron may be his last one in LA. I've seen a lot of reactions going on about something that did happen, and I don't want to give my opinion first because, the LeBron hate is here. So LeBron basically is a last-second scratch from the All-Star game. That day scratch, I even think, hours up until it. But just decided not to play. And let's see here. NBA Central says, breaking news, LeBron James will not play tonight, is all it says. Of course, somebody
it ended up being ankle discomfort.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, soreness and discomfort. Yeah.
So, how do you feel about this move? Because really, I like how you put online frenzy, because I've seen a lot of negative comments about it, and I've seen more negative than anything. So, I just wonder what your thoughts were on it.
I just feel like the way he went about it wasn't the best in terms of just saying it's so late. If you knew you weren't going to play, you could have definitely came in and let somebody else get an opportunity to play. In case, that's just what it is. So, and then he goes to the team picture, and it's not even in uniform. Just looks odd. I don't know. It's just these guys, they do some weird things. I don't know what's wrong with these guys. They do some weird movements. He could have put the uniform on at least. You're the only one with street clothes on. Everybody else got a uniform. You look odd man out. It just looks weird. I don't understand it. Giannis knew he wasn't going to play. He came out there with the uniform, sat there with the uniform. We need to start shifting. Look at that, Giannis being the face of the NBA, some of these other guys. But, yeah. I just feel like the timeline could have been better. I really feel like he wasn't going to really play. Could let somebody else come in there, be a first-time All-Star. Norman Powell played well.
Yep.
First half of the season. Could have definitely been an All-Star for sure. Been successful.
So, yeah, this tweet, just was looking at it, was at 6:45 p.m. on the day of the game. So, I mean, obviously it had been broken probably a little bit earlier than that, but that was really late in it. But my opinion, I don't want to say that I thought he should have done it differently.
You started at 8.
Yeah. So the game started at 8 and 6:45. This was broke that you're not going to play. Like, that to me is I don't want to say selfishness, but the fact that, like you said, it knocked out basically Norman Powell, who's had an outstanding season and has been had a long career, and this is his best season that he could have had that opportunity. Taken away basically because ankle discomfort. So, I mean, not only that is let's be honest, NBA is more fans that are single fans of like a player, instead of teams, because they get traded around so much. So some people are just a part of the NBA because they love the superstars. Some people might have went to this All-Star game because LeBron James was going to be there and play, only to get there through probably 3 hours of waiting, getting tickets, getting into your seat, and going through everything to find out a little over an hour that he's just not playing. So, like, that hurts my opinion of what he did on this too. So the fact that it just changed everything, because this is basically our first case of load management in the All-Star game. Street clothes and still on the bench for it, but like it's kind of ridiculous. Like, you knew your ankle was already discomfort a week ago, like when we did all this, the whole draft and everything. Like, LeBron was one of the top numbers drafted. You knew you weren't going to play then, or there was a chance. And so many times that you've backed out of other things, why don't you just go ahead and back out then? So I don't know. I hate it more for Norman Powell than I hate it for anything, because I just felt like it's kind of a selfish move all around. The fans didn't get to see LeBron. It's really close to, it's right there in the Bay where LeBron in Cleveland and Golden State's era that they had. Some of those fans wanted to probably be there to boo him or cheer him on, either or, if their money's worth. And he just didn't play. I mean, showed up in street clothes, like you said, but still, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, definitely. It was just weird.
Not only that, like, let's be honest, ankle discomfort, it's the all-star. All they did was shoot threes, basically, and throw a lob every now and then. Like, you're not going to go out there and lace up your shoes and get hurt unless you just roll an ankle dunking.
No, my thing is like, if that's what it is, cool. But like, now you're gonna be out like an hour before the game.
Yeah.
That's the thing to me. It's not even about the injury itself. It's just like how you went about it. They said I don't even think he was at the practices. He just showed up. And
Did you say he wasn't at the practices?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. Like I said, if he was injured, that's cool. Just you could have said
say
that
it.
earlier. But
yeah,
that's what it is. Honestly, at the end of the day, it could have also been he didn't want to play in that type of format. I don't know. Did he want to play against rising stars? Maybe feel like he was beneath that. That was beneath him.
Well, that would be pitiful if that's really the thought.
Nah, but if you got discomfort, it's like, why go crazy? Why go 100%? When you're trying to go for the second half, and it's like you got them playing against the rising stars. And the rising stars, yes, they're rising stars, but they should, to me, we'll get more into that. But yeah, it's just, like I said, it's just unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
All around. I just want to see LeBron, Steph, and KD one more time in the All-Star game. We probably will see it next year, but yeah, it was just a little disappointing in the moment. But it is what it is now.
Yep, it's in the past. Again, just hate it for Norman Powell more than anyone. But that's my only, quote, beef that I'd have with it is that Norman Powell didn't get that chance to have an All-Star jersey with his name on it. But, Draymond Green.
Wait, now, hold on. KD has some comments.
Okay.
About the All-Star game. There's a tweet. I think it's more fun to complain about the NBA than to actually watch it. Crazy cancel All-Star weekend. And let's just give everybody a break since we're so miserable around this time. Well, you gotta go into the why. I'm not miserable. I can't speak for everybody else, but I just want to see an entertaining product. So I'm being miserable. It's not fun to complain. I'm not even complaining. I'm just critiquing. It's different. When I've been watching the game my whole life, 30, been watching the game for at least 25 years, 24 years. So,
I even like the conversation. I didn't know that he commented down below that. I was just kind of reading the other guy's comment, but he even responded to it. So the other guy said, you go home and watch the full broadcast and see the commercial, the breaks and everything else and sitting at your couch and see if you can handle it. He says, I get it. My point is fans complain about everything like nothing is good. Well, I'm sorry, but the All-Star break is not good. The only thing, and I think you will agree with me on this, the only thing that's really good about the All-Star break or fun for us to watch is the three-point contest. The dunk contest was better. Oh, no, I didn't. It's good enough for here. Like nothing is good enough for the fans right now. Only thing they enjoy is playoffs, trade deadlines, free agency, and when players beef with each other. Yes, that's our drama. That's our soap operas that we get to watch. But let's be honest. Well, I don't want to say that. That might sound too aggressive. The NBA is a different NBA when the playoffs start, though. Do you agree with that?
Of course, it has to be.
So, the level of play during playoffs increases. So, yeah, that's when a lot of people tune into it because these superstars become superstars and defensive players. So, they raise their level of play all around, and it's not backyard. Like, let's be honest, the NBA right now, as many threes as they're shooting, it's the All-Star game basically was the same. It looks like it's a group of guys at the YMCA just getting across and trying to be the first of 24, win by 4. Like, that's how everything plays. Shoot more threes because you have to make less shots. So let's just fire it up and try to score as fast as we can on this. it gets a little boring until they play defense. Do you agree with me, or am I a little aggressive on that?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just the cause is the lack of effort from the players. That's where this originated from.
Pretty much.
Nobody said get rid of East West. No one said they wanted a 4-team playoff, playing 4-team tournament to find out who's the best collection of 7 all-stars. Nobody asked for that. They asked for the players to play with some effort. No one said play like it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals. But again, this is your weekend. So when you go out there and play, what are you trying to represent for kids that's watching on a playback? You see guys, if you're looking like a cone on your weekend, it's called All-Star Weekend, and you're an all-star. You're just letting guys blow right by you. You're letting an all-star blow right by you, and you're supposed to be an all-star. Oh, that makes sense, right? Or not? Exactly.
But
it's just about effort.
I don't think they think the way that you think, though. Because honestly,
They do.
You think
they do? Of course. These are high IQ athletes. They have logic. You have to have logic in that profession. So they do.
See, I'm not saying they're dumb or anything, but I'm just saying I don't think that they really care so much what the young kids are watching them at the All-Star to think, hey, this is the tone that you should be playing at. I think it's, hey, this is our week. Let's just goof off and take a break. And I'm going to get paid no matter what. And this game is over now. Let's go home and try to get refocused. Because I think, honestly, if they thought like the way you thought, it would be a much different game because they really set the tone for the younger generations of how we should play the game. And it's not being set the correct way right now. You agree? How do you feel on that?
And people think they have this notion that, back in the day, it was this elite all-world defense. I can tell you right now, it was not. There was a lot of highlight plays. There was a lot of bad defense back then as well. That's being 1,000% objective about it. But there were at times where at certain moments in the game, end of quarters, end of the half, towards the fourth, 8 minutes in the fourth, guys started to lock in. Mm-hmm. Game started to get close. We don't even see that now at all. Even towards the end of the game. Now you're doing a game to 40. I mean, hey, listen, I don't know. It's a different type of vibe. It's not complaining. Everybody the reason why they changed this thing is because of the lack of effort from the players. Hands down.
Yeah. In all seriousness, the best all-star break that we have is MLB. Football is not really that fun. It's
a patient game.
Right. That's the only reason why people can't get into it because they don't understand and they can't stay focused into it. But you still have your best players trying to strike out that batter every time. And that batter is trying to hit that ball as far as he can the whole time. So you're actually getting all-star players in baseball competing at their highest level during that. That's the only sport you have.
Exactly. The best baseball players compete in the home run derby. The NBA All-Stars should be competing in the slam dunk contest.
Yes. But for some reason, it's looked over for any purpose on that. I don't get it. And it's in NFL too. I mean, we play flag football now where, they do whatever. There's no point even having it. It's after the Super Bowl. Nobody is even thinking football. And then it's like, oh, wait, that popped on and they're in Hawaii and they're having the time of their life here. So kudos to the MLB.
Pro Bowl, they were out there playing back in the day. I remember watching the games.
Yes.
In Hawaii. I don't remember any crazy injury, thank God, no crazy injuries, anything like that. But I can also understand players not, because in a way it is type a meaningless game. So for football,
football's different.
I don't think it's necessary. You can't go 75 in football.
Right.
Gotta be 100. You can really you gotta go.
No.
But you gotta go 100. NFL pros. no question. So it's a little bit different there. I feel like they still should also play them because I saw the greats do it, and I don't see why you can't do it today. You're making more money now, and this goes for all the leagues. It's not just for one league specifically. This is United States capitalism. People complain about capitalism, but this is the only way people from low income communities could be able to change their life through sports because of what they're able to do here in the States. So we're just asking them to just go out there. And it also comes down to the fan too. The fan, they spend their hard-earned money to watch the players, to watch the team, support the team, buy the merchandise, buy the tickets, the home season tickets, the pack, the whole bundle for the whole 41 games. That's probably like $5,000 to $10,000, probably more than that. So depending on the team, it's just so it's supposed to be a happy medium between all three: ownership, players, coaches, consumer, fans.
So I just Googled real quick. Atlanta Hawks season ticket prices vary, of course, by level and range, but it's from $1,900 to $25,000 for season tickets. So courtside, 41 games, $25,000. That's pretty crazy, you know.
You gotta be successful.
That makes me really want to look up the Lakers. I'm sorry, I got to do it.
Man,
I'm afraid to see what this one's going to be.
Gotta be like almost like
100,000.
Yeah, has to be.
Let's see here.
90.
Well, according to Barry'sTicket.com, it says compare Laker tickets to other NBA teams. The Lakers season tickets in 2024 range from $1,500 to $30,000. I don't believe that one.
Oh, okay. So most of the teams keep it the same. That's what it looks like.
I guess
keep it on a similar average. You said 25,000 for the Hawks and 30,000 for the Lakers. So,
see, I don't buy that. That can't be right because you can get a ticket for a game right now for $12,000 on a floor seat ticket. So if you buy one for $12,000, you know if there's 42, why wouldn't someone just go ahead and buy season tickets and sell those?
Yeah, a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that, bro. Definitely
crazy. All right. Well, listen, we I think we've talked this enough. Let's go ahead and move on over to our next topic, which is still All-Star break, basically. Draymond Green, do what?
So yeah.
Okay. Draymond Green's All-Star game thoughts, and of course, beef with the big O. And let's see what CJ's got pulling up on this as I take a big drink out of my huge water. Love the NWO hat, by the way.
Appreciate you, bro. Let's get it.
My son, for Valentine's Day, of course, you know, the schools, I'm assuming they do this in New York, but they always have a Valentine's Day party at their school, and, you know, you got to make the Valentine's box. So my son this year wanted to make a Valentine's WWE ring, and he had Rey Mysterio and the big E on it. So that was his theme, was wrestling for his Valentine's. We like wrestling here. Yeah.
So,
he loves Cody Rhodes, but he didn't have a small one.
So here's Draymond's thoughts on like All-Star game. What's your thoughts on this?
work all year to be an all-star and you get to play up to 40 and then you're done. This is so unfair to Victor Wembanyama, who just took this game really seriously, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who just took this game really seriously. When you talk about chasing after the points records, Melo and Kobe and all these guys who've had great scoring nights, they don't get the opportunity to do that with this game. Also, we can watch some rising stars. We're about to watch the Olympic team. Now we get the treat of watching the Olympic team play against a U19 team. Come on, what are we doing? This is ridiculous.
I mean, he ain't wrong, really. I like the rising star perspective of this, where we get to see some of these younger players come in and play. But I do think the rising star playing against the All-Stars is kind of crazy of that fourth team that we did. But yeah, I think it needs to go back to the 4 quarters. Like, I don't know, 40 points, that is probably a quarter in the NBA. Like, let's be honest, maybe a quarter and a half for some nights. That's one player scoring. So yeah, I think the 40 points is crazy. It's just basically not even a half a game.
Yeah, they try to do the format of you go up against a team and then you play like it's just it's like a tournament. You play against one team, you have a win, you advance. I wasn't a fan of it. I wasn't a fan of the method. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Again, I agree with the message. Again, the people are gonna get upset because it's Draymond and they have their opinions about him already. But in terms of this specifically, I agree. I was saying this before. You said it. So this is like, I didn't really necessarily agree with the format. 40 points for All-Star games. They had All-Stars doing the conference press game, post-game conference while other All-Stars were still playing. Doesn't make any sense.
No.
Doesn't make any sense at all. They were in street clothes by the end of by the final game. Like the All-Stars that lost. The All-Stars that lost.
Yeah.
They were in street clothes watching the finals game. That's weird to me. That's not something that makes a lot of sense for a league.
Yeah. You're an All-Star at the All-Star game, and you're already in street clothes for the final minutes of it. Like, you know.
Yeah. And then you got to sit there and listen. Kevin Hart, cool. You know, he had moments back in the day with the stand-ups. He was really funny. This one wasn't that one for me. Just being honest, I just felt like it was too much. It was forced. The jokes was just forced. Really didn't. To me, the host should have just been Ernie, Kenny, Chuck, and Shaq. Like they didn't need Kevin Hart to be the host.
Yeah,
it didn't make a lot of sense to me to add Kevin Hart there. Mr. Beast thing, I can understand that because in regular season games they have the half-court shots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's not anything that's out of the realm or super crazy, right?
Right. It's just not on TV a lot.
Yeah, right. If you have League Pass, I have League Pass. You see it all the time. Like it's common. There's somebody performing and doing something. So yeah, just the Kevin Hart hosting it. He was doing too much. They had 2 commentary groups of 4 people. That's too many people commentating the game. That's 8 people commentating one game.
It's almost 1 per person playing.
Yeah, that's too much. That's too much in my ear. That's too much going on in my ear. I need to hear like 2-3 people max. I don't need to hear 5-8 people. So that didn't make a lot of sense to me either. I just didn't think it was the intermissions. So many intermissions they had. The tribute to the crew inside the NBA crew. That's cool. Like I wasn't really had a problem with that. I feel like if they not did all the other intermissions and going away from the game and doing this and that, and had just did that at the end, it would have been more significant to me. But the fact that you kept doing different gaps within the game, it kind of took away from that moment. The going fishing thing, that's their iconic thing when teams lose in the playoffs, right? It didn't even have the same type of like impact how it really does when they do it in real time because of everything else before that. And I feel like that was unfortunate. I just wasn't the biggest fan of how it was produced to me. Slam dunk. Saturday was cool. Sunday wasn't. It wasn't it. Nah, it wasn't it to me. It didn't make a lot of sense. And then guys out there, they just run up the court, shooting up, taking threes. That's all they're doing.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much that was it.
Yeah, it was no plays, pick and roll. The big man, they're coming out, they're shooting threes. Wembanyama, he played with some effort. He was blocking some shots, contesting shots. Got Cade try to win at him and got a dunk. That was nice. It's like that's what you want to see, especially from the young players. You want to see it from the young players because the old guys, they're out of there. But we want to see the young players play with effort because they're going to be there for the next 5 to 10 years. So they need to play with some type of effort because the younger guys are watching them now.
Yeah,
young guys now they're veterans, even though they're still young. It's just how it goes with the NBA, right? Young guys become veterans. How they play is significant to the up next kids, and that was good to see for the guys to go and get eliminated. Yeah, I just wasn't a fan of the format. I don't think the Rising Stars should be playing with the All Stars. That's not how it should have been. How are you a rising star playing it against All Stars in the All Star game? It's supposed to be steps.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get better on the court in the regular season to ultimately end up in the All Star game. You're not supposed to just win a tournament on Friday to play on Sunday. Like, that's not what the All-Star game is about. The All-Star game is about the 24 best players in each conference playing on that day. 12 players in each conference. Locking in and putting on the show for the fans. Putting on the show for the thousands of people watching and the millions watching at home. That pay their money to watch you guys. It's an appreciation for everybody. That's what the All-Star Weekend is supposed to be about. Everybody, players, fans. It's supposed to be a great experience for everybody included. That's what you're supposed to make it if you're Adam Silver. A great experience for all parties included. That is how you create a great product.
Yeah, if it's almost, I get the whole purpose of putting in the Rising Star just to try to get more publicity of these guys as they're coming up. We get to see the rookies. You get the Zions of his rookie year when he doesn't make the All-Star because he's a rookie, and you can still put him into that format where you can basically sell him. So, I get the thoughts. Wemby didn't make it last year because of the Rising Star. He can actually be in the All-Star and still be a pivotal piece of selling the tickets. I get that. But could you imagine, let's just say this year the Rising Star beat one of the All-Star teams. Like, what kind of precedence does that put for the rest of the league? Okay, these are the best players. These are not the best players, and they just beat the best players. Like, you're almost putting them up for a failure in that. And the Rising Stars are going to be coming to play their hearts out on this because this is their first time seeing it. But by the time he gets going to mix, you can easily kind of change to, hey, let's just have fun there. But, their mentality coming in first. And if you got one of those guys to say, hey, listen, let's go out and punch them in the mouth, basically, and really attack this game because we're the Rising Stars, show them that we belong, could change how this actually goes. But if the Rising Star beat a all-star team, I think that would be horrible for the league, to be honest with you, because you're basically saying these guys aren't really our all-stars, or our Rising Stars definitely better than our actual all-stars, and the league is not what it's made to be. So I think Rising Stars need to go or have their own day.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Right.
Right. Say have their own day. Let's go this on Friday.
Keep it like that.
Exactly. Like nobody asked for the rising stars to be a part of the. Nobody asked for that. I promise you, Adam Silver. Nobody asked for that, bro.
Yeah.
Who brought that up?
Yeah.
They came up.
What person was sitting there thinking, let's next year, I bet you the fans want the rising stars in the All-Star game. Whoever it was probably needs fired.
No, not fired. Not fired. You do want to try new things,
but still, like you were convinced.
I'm sure they weighed out the negatives as well. But again, this is really not on the NBA as well. But it's really on the players, because if the players play with some effort, they wouldn't have to feel the need to change the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So you also have to look at the players as well. They're responsible.
You're right on that.
It's just two to tango. That's the whole origin of the changing of the All-Star game. That's why, and that's sad that they had to go in and change the way the game is played because of the effort of the players. What type of narrative is that?
And even Draymond, what he was saying, like the players that he mentioned that are going for those records, they're not really the superstars that we talk about all the time. The LeBrons, the KDs, the Steph. He actually went to the younger superstars, and it's as far as wanting to make a presence. Is he basically almost saying that the older guys are really gave up on the All-Star and even trying in it, and now the younger guys are trying to make their names on that? Because he said SGA, I think he said Wemby and somebody else, but it's like it's not these older heads are concerned about the All-Star. So how do you fix it? The players play.
Yeah, just exactly 75%. 70, I don't know, but just go out there and just have some, because again, you have fans coming from all across the world to see you play. This one moment, they took off work and they took a couple of days off work. They saved up for a couple months. Everybody got a story when they step in that arena.
Yep.
Right? Of why they're there and why they're a basketball fan. So, I mean, that should be the primary thing. Obviously think about yourself and your health and your faith, but also your job is to entertain. So I just feel like when the weekend is dedicated to you on the last game of the weekend, just want to see a little bit more effort.
So I just looked this up real quick because it had me thinking. The average of last year's ticket in Indianapolis was $2,679 per ticket, the average. This year's, it was $3,989. So basically $4,000 was the average ticket sale price in the arena. Now, I don't know if that goes for Friday's tickets, Saturday's tickets, and Sunday's tickets. I don't know, but I'm just going to say $4,000 per ticket for however many people are in there. Why don't they just actually, as an NBA, because they're making money off the All-Star game, say, hey, listen, the team that wins, like we do with the mid-season game, makes an X amount of dollars and make it where it's super high where they want to play for it. Because to me, it's got to...
You're throwing more money at millionaires. Like, I don't get it. Like, this is what they get paid to do.
I agree.
And you get incentivized for incentivized for being an all-star already. So what are we really talking about? Just go out there and hoop, man. Why is it so difficult? Go out there and hoop.
Listen, I'm with you. And to me, anytime
it's about them.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Because anytime I ever played pickup or anything, organized college, high school, I played to win. Like, I never laced up the shoes to go out and just say, I'm just going to shoot this shot. And who really cares how it goes out? Like, you play to win. So when did it become acceptable for the millionaires, that's the superstars of that sport, of what we all prideful in, to say we just don't care about this game? I don't get it.
And for the people, again, that feel like, oh, it's not a nostalgia thing. Again, it's not a nostalgia thing for me. Go set a new precedent then. Okay, I agree with you. Back in the day, they didn't really play enough defense. Okay, set a new precedent. What? You want to be a game changer, right?
Yeah, my favorite All-Star game.
That's how you do that. Oh, this I remember this year when everybody locked in. You remember that year. We need to keep that year up. We need to do exactly so. See that year is a model how The All-Star
Yes.
game needs to be going forward. That needs to be a census that needs to be had soon for the All-Star weekend before it starts to get crazy.
What is your favorite All-Star that you can recall? And of course, you may not be able to name exactly the year, but just describe what you remember on it.
I remember Kobe's last All-Star game.
Okay.
Definitely that was special. I think it was in Toronto.
Okay.
Wade and Dirk. I think that was in 2019.
Okay.
That was a special one. 2020 was pretty good. Like recent day, back in the days for sure. Like I remember watching that Vince Carter doing lobster dance. It was this.
Yeah.
It was back in the day. It was fun. 2003, Jordan's last All-Star game.
Okay, that's my favorite. I'm glad you went there because I was invested in that game watching it because obviously Jordan's last, so everyone was watching because of that. But it was going down to Kobe versus Jordan, basically. Kobe hit a last-second shot, but there's still time left to go. The Kobe's team took over. The West were up. Michael Jordan was able to shoot a shot. I can't remember how it was, but to put them back up. So then the East actually go back down, or West goes back down. Kobe shoots a three in the corner, and Jermaine O'Neal fouls him. So he goes to the line. Like, I remember hating Jermaine O'Neal so bad for that foul because it put Kobe to the free throw line with like no time left and took Michael Jordan's final shot in an All-Star game that was the game winner to now put Kobe at the line, and he won it. The fact that, we can recall those hard-nosed defense during the All-Stars on that. And then I think of the Kevin Garnett year where they're like, hey, we're coming to win. And they actually played defense. Now, obviously, like we said, they don't always play defense that hard, but we do want them to have the mentality that I'm going to win at all costs because that's what the whole season's supposed to be about. It's All-Stars, so we see the All-Stars competing against other All-Stars and see how well it can play. Why are you all failing to bring us that material? And we'll never know that answer.
Yeah, it's not the Globetrotters and the Generals. It's All-Star versus All-Stars.
Yes. We'll talk about that all day.
All right, so Draymond also has some comments about today's NBA.
Okay.
He views it as being boring.
It's not smart basketball no more. I saw a clip not too long ago. Kobe said, like, yo, it's accidental basketball. He couldn't have been more right. It was so refreshing to play against Bron because every possession is like a chess match. But you don't just get that on a regular basis. It's just who can run faster, who can hit more threes. It's no substance. And so I think it's very boring. It's not smart basketball no more.
Right, and Oscar Robinson, they asked Oscar Robinson to respond. Oscar on the Big O, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Top 50. Top 50 all time. Top 75 all time. Legend. That's his response to it. And I'm going to hear Michael's thoughts.
The game is what it is. People either like the game or they don't. And I think Draymond said so much. Who cares what Draymond says? He doesn't mean anything. That's what I mean. One guy can say this, and one guy can say that. The game is what it is. People either like the game or they don't. And I think people enjoy the game, especially if their team can win. And you look at the basketball, it might be boring to him because if he's not passing the ball to Curry, what is he doing?
I agree. Triple single is
not to single that out because I think he knows how to play basketball, but he passes the ball to Curry more than anyone I've ever seen in basketball. So it means a lot. So, It might be boring to him at times, but what he's doing, maybe it is boring when he's out there. He's not shooting he's not shooting a lot. He's not guarding a lot, so it's boring.
What's your thoughts, man?
I mean, here's the thing. Draymond makes a great point when he says it. But then when Big O comes back and says that, I mean, he also makes good points. So, I mean, the reason why I don't like the NBA sometimes is because the way I play basketball is not the way they play basketball. And it is a bunch of threes. And it gets boring to me because there's no pick and rolls of this is what's going to go, rotate here. This is the weak side. Let's do this to get the mismatch and let's attack here. It's basically set some picks and run around the three-point line until someone gets open and then dribble between your legs 5 times and then do like a walk, step back to the side and shoot a three. So, I mean, I get what he's saying. It is kind of boring because it's almost the same thing in every game is what they're doing. If it gets down to the last few seconds in the shot clock or a quarter, it's going to be isolation at the three-point line. He's going to dribble a few times and then instead of even attacking to get close to the rim to lay up or even get fouled to go to the line, it's a step or a step back three. So, I mean, it is getting boring, but my style of play, because of Coach what Oscar said here, is it's just not my cup of tea anymore. Like, I miss the Jason Williams passes, the Jason Kidd passes, the Nash, passing around and all that. I always love, that's why I like Chris Paul. He can set the guys up and throw some nice dimes and everything. So you don't see that type of a point guard much anymore. In order to be point guard, you got to shoot 40% from 3-point line and be quick as lightning, So it's a different era. It's a different style. So I agree with both of them. I don't like it because it's not the way I think it should be played, but I also think it's boring because it's not played my way. So I'm not trying to be a naysay on any of this, but to me, it is who can shoot the most threes wins the game anymore. And I don't get it because it takes no talent other than make it in the hole.
So I don't know if Oscar Robertson really heard the whole quote from Draymond, because I think if he would have heard the whole quote, I don't see how him understanding the game and seeing exactly where he was coming from. I don't know if he'd fully agree with it. I mean, I don't know if maybe his stance would change. Sometimes with these, and this is why we always play the full clip, or like exactly what they're saying, right?
Right.
Nothing's cut up or anything like that. We don't know if he actually came in and he heard the full quote and this is his response. Cool. I agree with Draymond. For Oscar, I disagree with Oscar Robertson. Yeah, no, it's Oscar Robertson, but listen, I disagree from the standpoint of yes, Draymond should definitely score more. Yeah, it should be no reason why he's not averaging 15 in the NBA. It makes no sense to me. He has the IQ to be able to get 15 a night. Doesn't make any sense. 15 plus, really. 15, I'm being generous. 15. If he was averaging 15, that'd be the difference in some of the games they would have won over the last few years. Maybe championships. So on top of what he already does, you probably put 18 on just on hustle plays, roll into the basket because you have to worry about Curry. You got to go over the screen. You have to go over. Then you have to hedge. Automatic slips to the basket. He should be averaging 16, 17 easy. Fast break points. Knock down maybe 1 3. 1, 2 threes, offensive rebounds, go right back up. You could get 14 easily. That's my one thing with Draymond. I feel like he should be able to score more. Should be no reason why he's averaging less than 10 points. Should never be averaging less than 10 points. He has his defensive IQ, and he has offensive IQ as well. On that short roll, they help. Those are lobs, or those are kickouts to the three. He's the best. He's the best at that. On the getting the basketball in the short roll, he has the highest IQ of anybody on the short roll in the NBA because he played with the greatest shooter, and they won 4 championships. So I can't just sit here and say. And he exposed a lot of the problems in the NBA. You go and drop coverage. If you put Draymond out to 5, those centers are going to go and drop coverage. So those are just dribble handoffs. So if that big man doesn't step up, Those are wide open throws. Those are dribble handoffs, wide open threes. I mean,
Yep.
it's the greatest shooter of all time. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
Why wouldn't you do that? If the center's going to drop and he's not going to step up on the screen, and it's a 2-on-1, you have the defender, myself, you have the defender, Draymond, and Steph. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. You create a 2-on-1, you create an offensive advantage, and now if he goes under the screen, like it's over. You're leaving Steph Curry wide open. If you go over the screen, that big man might have to run up. Now he's out of position. That's an easy slip. Mm-hmm. You've seen Iguodala get that lob pass. You've seen Wiggins get that lob pass. We've seen Gary Payton II get that lob pass from Draymond on that short row. That's high IQ. They won championships off that. So it's a lot of people feel that way about Draymond. Yes, if Draymond played for another team, he would have to score. He would have to score. There was no way around it. Like he could definitely still do what he does defensively and passing, but dribble handoffs to a different player is different than dribble handoffs to Stephen Curry, right? Mm-hmm. So like, if it was Dame, sure, maybe it'd be the same similar players and things like that. But he would have if he wanted to win on a different team, he would have needed to score. But on this Warriors dynasty, he didn't need to. He was able to do everything else, and it helped them win 4 championships. So, and he's a key factor in that. Just watch the games and understand people with the triple single. I get it. Like I said, I feel like that's a critique. You should be playing. You should be averaging a triple double. He has the IQ. If you like 8, 9, and 9, or 7, 6, and 9, like you're just right there. Like it's just like a few more plays away. Just lock in. This is. And as for Draymond's thoughts about the game, I think too many teams, all threes aren't created equal. All threes aren't created equal. Steph Curry's threes aren't the same as Kyrie and Luka's threes. And the efficiency percentage may be the same. But they're made as not. They're 3 different artists. Right? They get their shots off completely different. Steph Curry predominantly gets his shots off the ball, off the catch, relocating, moving around. He's not when he's doing isolation. If you want him doing isolation, it should be towards the end of the game, right? When he has a defender worn out, he's not going to be ready to sit in the chair in 4th quarter. He doesn't have the conditioning of Stephen Curry. It's curtains. So that's when you want him in the ISO. But if you get him doing the ISO from the jump all the way to the 4th, that's a different type of thing. And that's why they were struggling. Now they got Jimmy Butler to come in there. He could be that one-on-one player at times. So now Steph could go back to being more dominant off the ball, off the catch. These guys aren't locked in enough to be ready for Steph off the ball. The way he's able to relocate and look at feet and where guys are going, and he just counters it. It's like a wide receiver. It's really kind of moves like a wide receiver. That's going to be a factor. And that's going to also help too with Draymond and Butler and Steph. Where Draymond could set that first screen, or Jimmy Butler could set that first screen, and then Draymond could set the secondary screen to open up Butler to get open, and Steph could throw the dot to Butler. I've already seen that. I've already seen him do that play multiple times, right? Easy cut. You have to worry about Steph. Jimmy Butler's just, and now you have Steph Butler screen actions. Draymond setting the flare. Like, what are you gonna do now? Jimmy Butler gets wide open. He gets lobs. Those are lob plays. I've already seen him throw the lobs. Those easy layups for Butler, easy. And if you can foul him, you're behind him. You foul him and 1. That's why he's able to get to the line. So their game is going to be different now. Their game is going to be similar to how it used to be when they had KD. See KD? No, but we've seen him take 2 teams to the finals. We've seen him, and what I like, the reason why, and this all ties in again with Draymond, because now he's a part of that big 3. Especially on the defensive side, we have an elite perimeter defender now, an elite interior / perimeter defender in Draymond combined. With Kuminga coming back, you're able to do some things. You're able to do some things, but the threes are different. Luka's threes, step back threes. If he's gonna go left, he's probably gonna step back, right? That's not his dominant hand. So he'll do the step back. But you can't time it because he's sizing you up. You have no idea what he's gonna do. He drive. Yep. And he's also, he has the size and the strength, back you down. Multiple footwork moves off the pivots to hurt you. So you need a defender like a Jimmy Butler. Guys like that in the game, helping them succeed. And when you look at other teams, they don't shoot the ball the same way as the Warriors. And they try to copy the Warriors, copy their, you got to make as many threes as the other team, but they're not looking at how they're getting the threes. Right? It's a different way. And if you just do 1-4 flat, if you have special players, yes, you're gonna get wide open threes because teams have to collapse. Teams are gonna collapse, so you're gonna get wide open guys in the corner. But if I'm a player, you're just gonna stand in the corner all the time. Nah, of course I need cuts. Got to cut to the basket. I want to have the basketball in my hand and be a game changer too. I don't want to just stand in the corner 50% of the game.
And see, I'm really glad you're saying that, no three is the same on that, because I sit here thinking it's really that Golden State made the three relevant as much as it is with the Splash Brothers and the way Kerr set up their offense. That really was, hey, we make it a lot more than we miss it, so let's shoot some threes. And I think it's become a copycat league where everyone's thinking, hey, we've got to shoot those threes like they're doing because they're winning rings. But their threes aren't coming the same way like you're saying. Like that was designed for two of the best shooters in the NBA's history of Clay and Steph, of course. So when you get these other teams that are imitating it and they're missing a ton of threes, shooting 25%, like that's when you got to say, hey, maybe we need to do something different. Because if you're shooting under 35%, you don't need to be shooting the threes. It's actually probably worse. I don't know the numbers, but I'd say it'd be somewhat close.
Facts, Ron. I just want to get your thoughts as Draymond talking about the second half of the season and what he predicts.
Okay.
See your thoughts.
That'd be tough to make predictions as a player about the league.
Say that one more time so that everybody here
Say that with your chest.
I didn't hear you. My earpiece.
Because they added Jimmy Butler the third. So what did you say?
81?
I'm sorry. I said I think we're going to win a championship, but I lied. We are going to win the championship.
Wow. All right. So do you agree with Draymond? Where do you see this Warrior team going? What's the ceiling? Adding Jimmy Butler 3-1 since Jimmy Butler the third has been a goal.
Is he referring to this year?
Yes.
I mean, he's in Oakland right now while he's doing this conversation anyway, so I get it. You got to say that. And, of course, if you're a player, that's what you have to say anyways. But, I mean, this team can be good once that they even carry on learning each other. We do see that this team is going to be good. They're in the top 10 right now with 28-27 as their record. As this guys keep forming and Kuminga comes back in, I think they are a playoff contender, but I don't know who's going to fall out of that. So I think they probably still finished in that 5, 6, or 7 seed for the West. But now, I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of like you, but with the Golden State. If Golden State's in the playoffs, I'm going to bet on them. I'm kind of like you are with the Lakers. When LeBron and AD is in the playoffs, it's kind of hard to bet against them until they lose. Obviously, AD is not on the team now, but if Golden State's in it, I think they've got a chance. Let's just be honest. They've proved it so many times that they got it. Do I think that they can win it this year? Do I think they're going to even out of the West to the NBA Finals? I don't. I don't think that they're going that far. But I'm not going to hate on them for making that prediction, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did it. But I still think all roads go through Thunder for this year. And if anything, of course, LA, if Luka gets back completely healthy and ready to play, which obviously he played one game there, I think.
2 games.
2 games. So, I mean, people are starting to get healthy and we're starting to see them. But Oklahoma is still a 44-win team right now at the break. So that's the team that really has to be all roads go through them, in my opinion. So I respect him, and I think it could happen, but I still think it's either going to be the Nuggets or Thunder this year, because I can't count out the Nuggets either.
Nuggets, Thunder. Okay.
What do you think?
Championship, I'm going to say no, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised if they're in the conference finals. Finals, because one, the thing is, Butler has it's like new mission, new goal with Steph. Like Steph Curry as a slam. He went to the finals with really good players, high IQ players in Miami, with none of those players.
With Duncan Robinson.
We're on the level of Steph and Curry.
Yep.
This is who his teammate is now. Who you're going to double? He's going to see so many mismatches. They're both going to get mismatches, especially on the screen action.
And I was thinking while you were talking about this, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're talking about Butler setting the screen for Steph and then Draymond setting the flare. Like that could even go backwards, Butler with the ball, being more downhill for it to attack at the rim, and have Steph set that first pick, and then Draymond second pick, where Steph goes just out to the 3-point, a pick and fade with an extra pick into it, and just kick it out as the rotation happens. Like there's so many options that you could do with that. But I'm sorry, that's you could go either way.
And again, that's what makes them very dangerous. And you have to be together defensively, communicating. Hey, I'm on this side, stay on the side. Don't go over there. I'm going over. I'm going over. Stay right here. You have to be able to talk. If you're not talking, if you're not locked in on the string, OKC's one of those teams that are really good defensively. They have really good perimeter defenders. Dort, Caruso, SGA, Jalen Williams, Aaron Wiggins. They have guys that can defend. So Holmgren can block shots. Hardenstein locked in, also blocking shots, being a factor. And those are the type of players you need against a Golden State, because Butler, he's going to make big shots in the playoffs.
Yep.
His nickname is Playoff Jimmy. He was given that, like he was given that nickname. Like it's not like Paul George. Paul George gave himself Playoff P. Like Jimmy Butler gave himself. People started calling him that because of how well he was playing. Took out Giannis. Took out the Knicks. Took out Boston. Took out the Knicks. We took out Embiid. Took out Harden the year before. Took out Harden and Embiid the year before. Just silence them. It just really comes down to health. I think it's motivating. He just has a different type of hunger. Steph has a different type of hunger too. I feel like Steph, because now this is new. This new teammates never won a championship. I want to help this. I want to help this brother win a chip. I want to help this guy win a chip. It's the last run. He said he talked to Steph, had a conversation with Steph after they got the Jimmy trade. He was like, Steph got emotional. He was like, yo, this is the last run. This is it. And when you think about it, it's like, yo, damn, this is it. This is their last run together before they call it, which is crazy to think about. Now, time just flew by over these last, it's been 11 years since they really started to kick off and becoming this dominant team. They won their first championship 10 years ago, 2015. So it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild to think about.
I don't know how to keep going. So do you think you said conference, right? Conference finals.
Yeah, I believe so, for sure. Let's talk about it. The last 5 teams in the West that have won the West have been different. Lakers, Phoenix, Golden State,
Nuggets,
Denver, Dallas.
Yeah.
Last 5 years, we have not seen a repeat Western Conference team become Western Conference champions in that. So that's stone cold 5 years fact. So that shows me the parity of the Western Conference, which you've already seen already. We've talked about ad nauseum here on the show about how competitive it is, and the standings speak for itself. That's why you go out. That's why Golden State had to go get a Jimmy Butler just so they can make the playoffs. Like not even just to play in the playoffs. They needed him to like play in. Yeah, they get in great, but they needed to make the playoffs.
Yes.
So they have it. That's. I'm pretty sure that's how Draymond is looking at it. That's how any of those teams in the West. If you're looking at your team, you get up, you see a team on the schedule, and you walk into the facility, and you're like, yeah, we could win. We're gonna win tonight. That's when you got a guy like Jimmy Butler there now, and he minimizes so many deficiencies that a team has with just one player, which is what makes him great, and which is why he was able to take those teams to the finals. He's an impact player. Now you're teaming him up with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, who are proven impact players. Steve Kerr, don't agree with all of his coaching decisions,
right?
But he's a 4-time champion. So they are a threat. You look at the duos in the Western Conference. That is a threat. Look at Luka and LeBron, Jokic and Murray. If they get healthy, Kyrie and AD, SGA, say Jalen Williams or Holmgren. I mean, to me, it needs to be Holmgren down the road for the future.
Right.
OKC, Holmgren needs to be the second option, no question. He has to be. He has to be the second option for them. Or it could be Jalen Williams too. It could be some Tatum Brown, which is cool. But it has to be one of those two guys. Rockets, we don't know. I mean, Şengün, yes, but to me, he's not aggressive enough. Watching them play the last few games, like they defeated the Suns and then they lost another game. Then they lost to Golden State the following night. And then before they beat Phoenix, they won a 5-game losing streak. Their inability to close in key moments. They're still a young team. They need to figure out their 1 and 2. Jabari Smith is not even there yet. He's still hurt with the hand injury. I don't know what his time frame or return is, but they need to. Yeah, Şengün needs to be more aggressive. Jalen Green needs to be more aggressive. Kind of phase throughout games, and they have really good players, but he needs to establish. I'm the guy here. I got the extension. Me and Şengün got the extension. We're the two guys. So they miss that at times, but that's their duo, Şengün and Green. You got KD and Booker, but record-wise, they're going to be. I think I don't know. Got Wemby and Fox, Levine and DeRozan, Jaren Jackson Jr. So there's multiple elite dynamic duos in the Western Conference. So if you're a Warrior fan, you got Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. You're feeling pretty good.
Yeah,
you're feeling pretty good. And you look at the rest of their team. The rest of the team is solid. Their combination of veteran and young guys, GP2, Tracy Jackson Davis, Quentin Post, their floor spacing center, played really well these last few games, and that's perfect for them. Spencer coming off the G League, he came in there. He was playing a little bit in the Rising Stars game. He's been playing well for them off the bench as their backup guard. Santos, Kuminga's supposed to come back. Kuminga's the X factor. If Kuminga could come in there and get you 17, 6, and 4 on top of what Steph and Jimmy bring and what Draymond bring, yeah, it could be a problem. Kuminga's the X factor. If he could do exactly that, 17, 6, and 4, a defender, fast break, run the floor, block shots, be a high flyer, pretty much do what Iguodala did.
yes,
Be what Iguodala did, but just be able to space the floor. If he could do what Iguodala did with floor spacing, for sure, they could be dangerous. They could be dangerous. The stats speak for itself. We have not seen a repeat Western Conference team go to the finals. So any of those teams have a shot. It's whoever gets hot. And I think the Warriors definitely have the opportunity to make a run here. They're 3-1 right now. They said they have one of the easiest schedules going forward for the second half of the season. So it's clear lane for them to potentially maybe get in that top 6. You're able to get in that top 6. You're good.
Yeah,
you're in good hands. That's the goal, top 6. and they have a shot.
And that's not even mentioning Buddy Hield with that roster as well. So I mean,
Buddy Hield, I forgot about Buddy Hield. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why I say I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think they will, but I wouldn't be surprised. So we'll see. We'll see.
Thanks.
So I don't know how you feel about this next topic. So, but I'm going to bring it up anyways here, of course. The All-Star Game one-on-one tournament. And I'm assuming this is obviously referring to the WNBA and what all went on with their 1v1 that they had here. And, of course, this might be a thing that comes with the NBA. And NBA Central says the NBA is discussing adding a 1v1 tournament next All-Star weekend with a $1 million prize per FOS on that. So I think it'd be tough to actually do this. I don't know what your feelings are on this, but I don't think I would be a fan of it. I feel like we're already adding so many different things now. What are you going to play to? 20 win by ones, and then, hey, now you won that. Now let's go play to 40 in an actual game here. Well, half of a game. So I feel like they're getting too many individual competitions that it's getting a little carried away. I think it would be interesting. I do, but at the same time, how are you going to do all-stars with this? You know, we've got Karl Anthony Towns playing against Steph Curry on a one-on-one half-court match. It would be kind of weird to see. You got one that's got to shoot threes because Cat's not going to come out that far and guard, and you got one who's just going to basically turn his body and back him all the way down and score. And if it's make it, take it, like it's going to be bully ball for Karl Anthony Towns. And if Steph hits 2 or 3 threes, and if it's make it, take it, like he's got to get hot to hit those. You know, he's not going to be able to do anything down low. So I think it's weird. I think you'd almost have to do like a guard game and a big game or something to that effect before it could even make sense. So what are you really doing? I guess in this, the discussion is possibly line some of these things out, but it's almost positionless basketball now. So like Tatum's not really a 4, but he plays a 4. So do you say only centers and the other game is 1 through 4? Like, so like, I don't know how you really are going to divide that up. What's your thoughts though? Because I think it'd be interesting, but it's got to be a guard versus big, or guard to guards, bigs. And I think it's too much already.
I mean, we've seen King of the Court already. And a lot of like McDonald's All-American, United States teams, the Olympic teams, when they're trying out, they do King of the Court 1v1. It's always been very entertaining. Has millions of views on YouTube. So, and these are the best players in the world. I think if you do 3 dribbles or less, make it 3 dribbles or less, and now you can't do the super back down, right? You got 3 dribbles to get to it and make your shot. Right. Yeah, sure, you could do 3, back down dribbles, sure. So I do see where you could potentially do like a height cap and have it from certain height, like
weight
6'5" and 6'5" and under, and then you could go 6'5" to 6'9", and then 6'10" and up.
Okay, so you're making 3 categories. Okay,
you might have to, because like you said, you can do Kyrie versus Wembanyama.
I mean,
it's just one possession though. It's not one. It's not game to 11 or anything. It's one possession. So, and if you miss the shot, you're coming off.
So, do you think
that's why I said 3 dribbles or less? Wow.
So, do you think it would be like the King of the Court style? Because 1v1 tournament, to me, is that you're going head to head, like the WNBA did. Like it's until you're X amount of points, and then you move on to the next bracket, and not the King of the Court style.
I think
they great.
Yes, I think they mean King of the Court. I believe they mean King of the Court, because like that makes the most sense, right? You do that one possession, 1-on-1, 3 dribbles or less. You have to get your shot off in 3 dribbles or less. You can't do tween, like all this and that.
Right.
You'll see the creativity in guys, how they were able to get their shot off, because you only have 3 dribbles.
Yep.
So if you do it that way, it's gonna be great. You're gonna see some of the greatest shot creators the game is in the league. That would help. That would help. Adding that would help, but I still want East-West and dunk contests and everything else.
Yes.
Like, and just add this. Yeah, that makes more sense. All right, go back to the traditional ways and just add this on Saturday. Yeah, add this on Saturday. Add this before the skills challenge.
I mean, almost ready for the skills challenge to go away.
They could go away with it and then add this. I wouldn't be mad at that if they got away from the skills challenge and added this as a replacement.
I like the principle of the skills challenge, but it's not really designed for skills. So yeah, you got to make a pass through it, but sometimes they just throw one-handed pass. Like it's not an actual pass, you know.
It's not hitting like it used to back in the day. I feel like back in the day, it just hit better. Like
yes,
it was just a better vibe. Now it's just it does that, and then there's teams now. It should just be one-on-one. It should be with singular players. Yeah, it's so yeah. I'm cool with that. Like if they got rid of the skills challenge for a couple of years and added this, because this shows skill. So this is a skills challenge.
And for $1 million, it would actually be some aggressive ball. You know, stuff that we don't see during the All-Star. Like if you only got 3, I would be fine with 4 dribbles. But if that way you can just maybe get some more distance, whatever going on in this, I think it'd be interesting. We always played in high school 3, but give them an extra dribble so they can do tween whatever and then take off. But I think it'd be cool. I don't know how they really would do. Like, is you get scored on, you're out, or is it going to be
probably
like
double elimination?
Okay. See, I thought maybe
if you get scored on twice. If you get scored on twice, you're out. Okay. And then whoever like just keep going through it. So
okay.
Up with the king of the court.
See, I guess we didn't really play it that way. It was the first to 10 points basically by ones. And if you got scored on, you were out, next person up, and then maybe did it that way where Kyrie make it, take it, basically you go until you get that 10th basket.
Yeah. That's probably how that's most likely how they should. That's exactly how they should do it in the NBA, the king of the court.
That way you reward the defense. Okay, now it's your ball, the next person up on defense.
Yeah, we're stopping this guy from scoring. And if you can't stop him from scoring, again, 11 points would be perfect. It's a perfect number. Well, everything ones. I don't know what they're waiting. I don't know what they've been waiting on. We should have saw this years ago. We should have saw this years ago. We should have saw this Kobe was playing. And AI and all these guys. Melo and
that would have been Melo. I don't like Melo. Never really been a fan of his game. That's me. But he would have been wonderful at 1-versus-1. What do you say? I've got to ask you this. Do you say 1-on-1? Because my son now calls it 1v1, and it feels so unnatural to say 1v1. But that's how it's always written. But what do you say? 1-versus-1 or 1-on-1 or 1v1? What do you say?
1-on-1.
1-on-1. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all the time saying 1v1. I'm like, that's so weird. And he says CPU too instead of computer. Like I don't get that
CPU.
either.
I say CPU.
See, I've always said computer. Like I'm playing against computer. What? He doesn't get it, but he calls it CPU. But anyways, that's my ADHD for the day.
Who would you pick in this tournament if they were to do it? Who you got? Yeah. 3 dribbles or less. Who?
There's 2 names that are going to pop up first. They got size and handles with length here. I'm going to go with Kevin Durant, and then I'm also going to go with Wemby. 3 dribbles or less. It's going to be tough to try to score on him with his size. Plus, his 3 dribbles are going to get some distance, and I think he actually is going into the All-Star wanting to prove something. We've seen his frustration on that one player, hands going up for the last second shot or the game-winning shot, and no effort. So I think in a king of the court, Wemby might be my bet, my dark horse on that. But I'm going to go KD first.
KD, no Booker.
No. Obviously, that would be great. That's another good pick, of course.
Wemby. Yeah, listen, he could definitely win. 3 dribbles or less, he could get to the rim. He's 7'5".
1 dribble, he could get to the rim.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like it's probably to split it up.
Yeah, that's why I'm going with size, because it's automatic advantage.
like I want to see Wemby versus KD, and who wins the forward to big matchup, right?
Mhm.
If we're talking
Guard?
about guards, I'm going Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Yeah.
I would probably go Ja.
Nah. In this type of game, I wouldn't go with Ja.
Honestly,
Kyrie's the best shot creating guard in the league.
I'm going to actually disagree with you completely on this because Kyrie, it's only 3 dribbles. Kyrie's got to use a lot more, but he's trickery with it too, though. You know, like he's dancing around going at it. But to only have 3 dribbles, man, Ja's, as quick as he is, 1 dribble, he's going the other way and exploding to the rim. Kyrie obviously is great, don't get me wrong, but I don't think 3 dribbles is going to benefit him as much.
I mean, I'm just going off the fact I've already seen them do it. They did the king of the court with the Mavs and him and Luka in 3 dribbles or less.
True.
He got the belt. So with Luka,
all right. I mean, you're not wrong there.
That's what I'm saying. Like he is just, and then also he's the best shot creator. He's top 5 shot creator in the league, best shot creating guard in the league. So 3 dribbles or less is easy. He's able to get a shot off. It's like a miniature Kobe in that sense, where he finds ways to get his shot off, different type of angles and different type of putting his body just to lean, just to get the right square up to get the shot off. He's on that type of level. He's not on the Kobe's level, but he's in that same family.
Well, understanding the angles big time for sure.
Exactly, especially on layups and finishing, because you got to worry about the drive. He could definitely get to the cup in 3 dribbles, and then he could just everything. You don't know what he's gonna do. It's the triple threat moves, the jab steps. That's the thing. It's like if you have that, you're good. And he has those whoever has those triple threat moves, the jab steps, and like before you even get the dribble, you got guys leaning and going back. It's like, so yeah, I've definitely got Kyrie there. KD is just, he's averaging 27 at 37. You know what I mean? On efficient clips.
Yep.
He had 37 the other night against Portland.
All right, so let's move on through. We got some more topics to get through. We're already 10 after 11. Okay. Let's see here. So, of course, I mentioned Ja would be one of my favorites in the guards because it's so quick, but he's my bad. Also, he's in some talks right now. Could he be the next Luka? And of course, CJ is going to be pulling up the graphic for that. What we're going to talk about here is, of course, Luka got traded in the season or before the break there. And there are, let's see here, Legion Hoops saying reports NBA executives believe the Grizzlies could potentially look to move Ja this summer. And of course, it's quoting somebody. I constantly checking in with executives around the trade deadline about okay, what we saw, what we didn't see, what's next. And in this league, you are always on the lookout for who's the next wave of stars that are going to be dealt. Somebody out of the blue said, keep an eye on Ja this summer. I'm just saying it's one of those things, and I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it to see if it may flame out early. So, we don't know who it was, of course, but
never know that.
I don't know. To me, these always goes with how many years are on a contract, what's going on with that to possibly be traded. But, I mean, we're going to get in another topic where we talk about this team, I think, a little bit more. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But the Memphis team is really looking good with some of their younger guys that they have as well. I'll just say that before we get too far ahead of ourselves. But so if they're wanting to change generations here, it could make sense. But Ja and Edie is such a good combo. I don't know why you would have drafted Edie to get rid of Ja. So I don't think it's going to happen. You've kept up with this guy for so long. There's been some baggage that's went along on the way. So I get it if you're thinking about trading. But, I mean, to me, Ja is Memphis and has been for a long time now. So I don't think it's going to happen. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it just depends on what his relationship with the ownership is.
Right.
If he has a great rapport and a great relationship with the ownership, then you don't have nothing to worry about. And you had that little situation, and other than that, there's really nothing else that happened. outside of that one, bad couple months, right? So I disagree. I don't think he's going to be next. It doesn't make any sense to me. They're one of the best teams in the league, one of the best teams in the West. I think they're the second seed in the West right now. So he's not not playing well right now. I think he'll pick it up in the second half of the season. His numbers are not where like you're used to when you're talking about Ja, but they're still playing well. Jaren Jackson Jr. has stepped it up tremendously. Tremendously. He might be an all-NBA player this year. He's playing great basketball. I think he took the criticism the correct way and locked in. Because there was times I'm just like, bro, you're better than 6'4" rebounds a night. What are you doing? You're 24 years old. You're only getting 4 rebounds, 37 minutes. And you're a power forward. So he locked in. He's putting up 30-point games, 37-point games against Giannis. We're very impressed so far this year. So that's helped them get that far. So this doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think he gets though. Matchups matter for sure. And one thing, if Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to have to be the best player in some series. If they want to get to the Western Conference Finals, Jaren Jackson Jr. has to be the best player in some of those series, for sure. Right, because his floor spacing, his ability to get to the basket, and his defense, and like I said, and the defense at the power forward spot. And if he's scoring, it's going to create easier buckets for Edey, because that center has to step up and Edey needs to dunk the basketball.
Yes,
stop playing the ball up. That when I watch Grizzly games, it's like, brother, stop laying it. You're 7'4". You dunk the ball, they'll never jump. You start laying it up, they'll think up. You start laying it up, like I can block that. Even though you're 7'4", it's still gonna be a tough to block, but just dunk the ball. What are you doing? But
I feel like you've been watching Kentucky games. My goodness. Williams on our team. He's a tall guy who could actually run point for us. He's our center. I think he's 7 foot. But he just got blocked last game during crunch time against Texas. Got a rebound, took one dribble, and faded from the block and shot a floater, if you will, and got it sent out of bounds big time. And I'm sitting there thinking, hard dribble, come up to it and just dunk that ball. Like, you got to be mean as a big guy. So
have to be.
Sorry, went college a little bit with you there.
Yeah, you have to go on a mean streak. He said he was comfortable in playing the 4. He's one of your best players. So, like, okay, he's comfortable playing the 4. We need to go get a traditional 5 out there and help one of our best players on our team with that we gave maximum money to. Now, let's put him in the best position possible, right? And so it doesn't make any sense for them to move off Ja. He's one of the cornerstone pieces for the Grizzlies with Triple J, Bane, Taylor Jenkins is one of the best head coaches in the league. I think this doesn't make any sense.
So I think we agree. We understand if the move happens because it's a business, but why in the world would he be traded? So this next one I'm interested in. Of course, we have the headlines over here, and I'm just reading it, and I'm really interested, CJ, to see what you may think on this. But who is the next face in the NBA? And of course, everyone wants to say Wemby, but I want to hear what you got on this, and I'm sure you got a graphic about to pop up.
My personal opinion is I don't believe an international player can be the face of the NBA. I know they're global iconic figures. Their popularity extends globally, but the NBA is an American-born sport, and it needs to resonate in America. And if it doesn't resonate in America, then it's not going to matter to America how you resonate beyond. And so that's just my mentality, UD. That's how I think about it. Not to say they can't be popular or what have you, but I just think about it that way. Shannon, as to your point that you made yesterday, UD wasn't here when you made it. I understand your point, and you're absolutely right. You can't want something more for somebody else than they want for themselves. And I totally get that. But that doesn't mean I'm not entitled to my wish list. And my wish is that Anthony Edwards changes his mind. And the reason why is because, my favorite players are him and Steph Curry. And where I fell in love with Anthony Edwards wasn't with the dunks or whatever. It was when the playoffs showed up last year, and that brother was giving it to the Phoenix Suns. I mean, that to me was the nail in the coffin, UD, because he was talking major smack to his idol, Kevin Durant. And he was going after, and remember, I'm somebody that feels very, very highly about Devin Booker. I think Devin Booker is an absolute stud. I watched that brother get on the court against them brothers and just shrink them. I mean, let them know there was levels to it. And I don't know who told y'all were on it, but y'all ain't. And went at them. My personal.
All right. So it's kind of like a two-parter here. What's your thoughts on Stephen A's take that an international player can't be the face of the NBA? He needs to be
I think
that's one player.
Personally, I think that's a bogus comment to say, like, so an international player can't be the face of the NBA ever. But right now, our best players in the league, winning the MVPs in the past so many years, have been international players. Giannis with two, Jokic as well. I mean, Embiid as well. I mean, how are we saying that the face of the league can't be international? I don't get that at all. And I mean, as much as
so who's the face of the NBA right now?
Who is the face of the league? I mean, I think Jokic, if not Steph. I would say Steph is up there as well. Of course, LeBron is still in the league, so I mean, you can't have an NBA without LeBron as well. So it depends on what you really want to go with. The best player in the NBA is the face, or just someone who has the most media presence in the NBA? Because, I mean, if it's most media noise, the one we're talking about, it's got to be LeBron still.
I think face is like there's a few definitions. Best, you have to be one of the best players in the world. And I mean, for LeBron's sake, he had it was just different because he was one of the best players in the world, and he accepted being the face.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't think Jokic really cares about being the face of the NBA. You know what I mean? So, like, while he's the best player in the world, he doesn't really, that part doesn't matter to him that much. I mean, you know what he is, you know what he's about, what he likes to do. That extra stuff is not really what he wants to do. So you have to look at the younger players, right? People younger than Jokic.
Tatum? Because I think Luka in LA, he's going to be a lot more out there now as far as what's going on. When you're in LA, you're on every social media or every ESPN highlight there is. So, and Luka is deserving of it. He's not got that MVP, but he's got stats up there with comparable to LeBron in the careers where they are both at as many years. So I think Luka can be one. I also think could be Ja. I'm fine with Ja.
Could be. If this guy ever got right, Zion's supposed to be in that conversation. But obviously, that's just what it is. No need to talking about that.
Yeah. And I think
there's a healthy – and Wembanyama, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I just still think he's still young, obviously, but, I mean, he's in the conversation with it.
Yeah. No, he's definitely in the conversation. He's in his second year in the league, averaging 25.
Yeah. with the build that he is. Like, it's
4 blocks.
2K build.
Yeah, 2K build, exactly. Better than 2K. You can't even make Wembanyama on 2K.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's wild, bro. You would have a super slow build.
Yep. No.
You wouldn't be able to do anything with that build. Women. I disagree. I disagree. Okay. I disagree. Let's look at baseball. Who's the face of baseball?
I can't think of the Ohtani. There we go.
Exactly. That's it. So that literally doesn't make any sense.
No.
MLB is an American-born sport, and the Japanese-born player is the face of the league. So,
and the league is mostly Dominican players as well. Like, how we say it has to be an American player. Like, that don't even make sense.
Now, if you look at history, yes, every face of the NBA has been an American player.
Mm-hmm.
Magic, Bird, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Steph. So that's what it's been. But that doesn't mean that's how it's always going to be. And Yeah, yes, definitely Anthony Edwards. I would definitely like for him to, but it's his legacy, it's his career.
Yeah.
He said he pretty much came out and they asked him about it. He said that's what they got Wemby for. So I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of pressure that comes with that too. People try to know into your private life and they want to know extra different type of stuff about you. And if you got stuff that you don't really want being put out there, it's gonna get out there because now you're the face of a $1 billion organization, $1 billion corporation. So now when you get that title, everything's you gotta get the championships, and there's a certain amount of championships you need to get. You need at least 3 championships before they continue to do an all-time great. You gotta get a couple MVPs, couple finals MVPs. You need certain things you gotta, as the face of the NBA, you need to accomplish. So if anybody is going to do that looking down the road, it's Victor Wembanyama. I mean, that just based on what we're looking at right now and he's only in his second year and he's averaging 24 and a half, 25 points, 3.5 blocks.
I would like Anthony Edwards as well. I love his mentality to the game. Like, hey, I'm going to dog trash you and still make you take what I'm going to do. That's what basketball used to be. That hard nosed. You're not going to stop me. And it's not high flashing stuff. It's like, hey, I'm just going to go and score. And that's what I wish would be. But at the same time, Anthony Edwards has also said, I think in a podcast this year, that in the next 3 years, if he wins an NBA ring, he may go play NFL just to show that he can do it. So, I mean, you got a guy here who is just saying that I'm just a freak athlete that can do anything, but who knows how long he even plays in the NBA. Maybe he does a 2-sport professional and be the next Deion Sanders, but I would think he would play NFL and quit the NBA if that was the case. So who knows if he really even wants to be the face.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't. I don't think he wants to be the face. I think Wembanyama is embracing. Look at some of his quotes that he's saying so far early in his career. He wants to go out there, play hard, play in the All-Star games, no friends. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win. He's saying, I mean, it's a little. To some, it may come off as a little like just trying to say all the right things, which is cool. He's a young guy, you know what I mean? So you're not, if you're looking at it that way, you're weird. But it's just, it's great. Yeah, he's accepting it. And he's seeing that he got the alien out of this world. Like, he's never seen anybody like him because it's true. He's confident in himself, and I think he's going to ultimately be the face of the NBA for sure. As he gets stronger, once he gets to like 24, 25, it's over. Like, what is Stephen A talking about? Once he's 24, 25, and he's in his full, NBA, that's it. What is Stephen A talking about? You're telling me that Victor Wembanyama at 25 years old, not even in his prime yet? Who's guarding that? Who's going to guard that?
Yeah. I mean, does he think Cooper Flagg is going to come out of the college and be the face over Wemby?
I mean, I don't know. Depends on where he goes. Depends on where he goes. He's special. He's special.
He is good. He's 18, so obviously he's going to be young in the NBA, but like Wemby. But I mean, this year's draft,
he was on that select team going up against the Olympic team. He was getting to it on AD. He was scoring on AD and all those guys. Like, at 7, he was 17 then.
17 then, yes. But obviously, there's no one in, and I no disrespect to him, but this rookie class that we have now, there's no one in the face of the NBA in that class. Otherwise, we would have seen more publicity coming out of the draft. So
the 24 draft, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not yet.
Maybe they'll develop over time. Yeah. But no, like right now, it's Wemby, and then it's already looking for the next year's draft.
I think Wemby, Cooper Flagg. The NBA is praying Cooper Flagg is a diamond. If Cooper Flagg is a hit, it's perfect. You got the American and you got the international guy.
Yep.
That's your 2 faces of the league, and you're good to go for the next decade. That's the ideal scenario, and hopefully you get to see them in the finals a few times. Flagg versus Wembanyama. If you're the NBA, that's what you're hoping for. Flagg versus Wembanyama in the finals, carrying their team, trying to win championships for all time legacy.
You know,
That's true
another
for the
name.
next decade. But I'm saying there's some good names in there too, though. Man, Ja, but face of the NBA, I think they're probably going at Wembanyama and then Cooper Flag.
What about SGA?
I mean, I don't know if he wants to, if he's accepting that.
Right.
It's not a talent thing.
Right. I agree.
I
agree with that.
It's not a talent thing because there's a few names there, but it's just a matter of like Luka definitely as well. Luka, Wembanyama, Flag, that really accept that and want that spotlight. I think those are the three names going forward, like for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe these young other guys too. Bailey, Harper, it's going to be in this 25 draft out of Rutgers. They can rise to the occasion, but I think the game is global. The difference between the NBA and the NFL and the MLB. The MLB is international because, like you said, you have Caribbean countries, Venezuela, PR, DR. They're coming from different type of countries to play in the MLB. So it's global as well, right? So in Japan, of course, obviously. Yeah. So that's why Shohei can come in there and be like, it doesn't matter what country I'm coming from. I'm the best in this league, and this is the best league. It doesn't matter what country I'm from. I'm the guy, and he's accepting of being the guy. So that's what I mean. Is like you gotta talk about baseball on the show. We just see Shohei win a chip with the Dodgers, and he didn't even pitch. And we know he's a great pitcher. He's not from America. So that's the good thing. The great thing about the country is you could come from another country.
Yep.
Come to this country and excel, become a billionaire. Because Shohei's a billionaire. You're gonna be a billionaire. So that's the beauty of this country. So the face of the NBA doesn't necessarily have to be. It's about who's going to be the best and who's accepting of the role. You don't just make it an American just to make it an American. It's who's the best, who's accepting it. And more times than not, it's going to be because we run the league. So more times than not in those discussions, there's going to be American-born players that are going to be in the discussion for that conversation, always. So just naturally, that's what it's going to be. So, but that's his preference, though. I disagree. That's it. Free speech.
What did Haslam say about it? Or do you know?
They all agreed.
Really?
Stephen A. really. It was like Anthony Edwards. I was like, and then when you ask them who's going to be the next young star, they all say Wembanyama. But I'm like, which I don't think he's going to be the face of the NBA. So they're just walking hypocrisy.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. They're like, Wembanyama, he's the future of the league. He's the future of the league, but he's not the next face of the NBA.
The face.
Yeah, it's the logic is incredible.
Yeah. Listen, we're at 11:30. We've got a couple more topics. Do you want to skip any of these and kind of highlight one of the other ones?
See what we got here. Yeah, we could do these top 5 third options.
Okay.
And MNC choose.
Okay.
So it's a clip.
I was going to say the power rankings doesn't really change because it was pretty much all-star break since the last episode.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this is a clip from Pat Bev podcast on who's the top third options in the NBA. His top. I have my post, and then I have my list.
Nick, good one. Mikal Bridges, you have some respect on his name.
I go somewhere from Boston. Porzingis.
Crazy, dog.
New Amsterdam starting 5 best third options in the NBA right now.
Austin Reeves is number 1. Cal Kuz is number 2. Norman Powell is number 3. Paul George should be number 4, but he hasn't showed it yet, so let's wait on that.
You have a tough situation because are we looking at OKC? Are we looking at Cleveland?
You're absolutely right. Let's take a step back, all right?
Okay.
We have Austin Reeves with the Lakers. The number 2 one was Cal Kuz. The 3 one is tough. I said Norman Powell, but you can also go Zubac. So the 3 is tough, but I'm going Clippers, Norman Powell, because he's the leading scorer. Mikal Bridges, Knicks.
That's a good one. Mikal Bridges, you have to put some respect on his name.
You got to go somewhere from Boston. Porzingis, Holiday, Derek White.
Yeah. Okay, so who's your last one?
I'm going to go Porzingis.
Okay, Porzingis.
All right.
I mean, I kind of feel like he was just naming everyone that's a third option and hoping that they all agreed with the list there.
That's an interesting list from.
So,
Pat Bev, what's your top 5? You got a top 5 third options? You want me to go first?
if you don't care, because it might give me some. Because I was nowhere like I didn't name anyone when I was first thinking about this that he just mentioned, and I still don't want to.
All right, so at 5, I got Josh Hart. I feel like out of the potential third options for the Knicks between Hart, Bridges, and Anunoby, Hart's been the more consistent one out of the 3 in terms of just the hustle, what he already does. The floor spacing has been better since OG Anunoby's been out. He's upped his scoring to kind of make up for the 17 a night that OG had for us. So I'm gonna go with Hart as a top 5 third option this season. He's top 5 in triple doubles, top 3 in triple doubles. He's having a great year. Number 4, I got Austin Reeves, averaging 19, like 5 and 5, great shooting splits. His confidence is on another level. His confidence just continues to grow and increase every single year. We saw the big shot he hit against Dallas in Dallas. Russ trusted him hit that shot. That was just like welcome to the NBA moment. Undrafted, nothing was given to him. He's earned everything. He earned that extension. That contract is one of the best contracts in the league. And when you're getting a guy that could average 20 a night for you, potentially more than that down the road, especially when LeBron leaves, the numbers are going to go up because it's necessary. But right now, he's playing some of his best basketball, career highs, and a lot of stats and categories. So Austin Reeves having a great season. Number 4, number 3, I got Norman Powell. Said should have been an all-star. Really one of the main reasons why the Clippers have been able to stay with the record they have with Harden, some of the other pieces, but with Kawhi being out for the majority of the first half of the season, Norman Powell really stepped it up and in that scoring role, knocking down shots, being clutch, playing defense, and he's having a great year. He's having the best year of his career. And you got James Harden. James Harden still top 2 option. I feel like in the playoffs, though, we just know like it's just tough. To see James Harden in the playoffs. We still he can still go out there in the regular season. He has moments where we get Houston vibes. Mm-hmm. But what are we going to get in the playoffs? I don't know. And that's a duo too. Harden and Leonard and Kawhi. I didn't even bring up, but I was talking about duos in the West. It's like an underrated one. It's like if they're healthy, it's like watch out. It's Harden and Kawhi. Like when you hear the names, you still have to worry about that, especially in the playoffs. But for Harden, he's not able to step up. So Norman Powell, if he's able to come in there and get some of those points that were Harden may not have a great shooter night, but he can have a good assist night. I felt like I tweeted this out a few months ago. I feel like Zubac needs to be the second best player after Kawhi because he's a big and he's versatile. He could go out there and get 25 and 20. I've seen him get 25. He could get 25 and 20. He needs to be a dog, which he has no problem in doing in spurts. I don't see it every night, always, but he's still putting up good numbers. But right now, Norman Powell's the third option. So you got to go Kawhi, Harden, Norman Powell, then Zubac. Number 2, Evan Mobley.
There we go.
It could really be Garland too. So I had like a Mobley Garland. Mobley's playing great. The numbers have been incredible. Like earlier, that's 38% from 3. I spoke about that earlier in the show. he's one of the main reasons why they've been so successful. His ability to space the floor. It's completely changed how they've been able to play. His passing is great. He's able to get downhill. He's getting stronger. He could be somebody also. I mean, one of these players. He's going to be one of our best American front court players for the next decade. He's special. He's special, man. So yeah, I got Evan Mobley right now. It's my Evan Mobley Garland combo. It's my top. It's number 2, and then number 1 I got Derek White. So yeah, you could go Holiday. I just felt like White. He's been there a little bit longer than Holiday and White. I mean Holiday and Porzingis. And he hit some timely shots for them the year before against Miami. He was at times. He was their third best player. In that Eastern Conference Finals against Miami, he was their third best player. That's before they got Holiday and Porzingis to really complete everything. But so that's been pretty consistent, and it didn't stop when those two guys got there. He's still able to get his shots off, knock down shots defensively. He's that guy. So those are my top 5 third options in the NBA this season.
Man, it's hard to just actually pick 5, though, you know?
Think so?
So, no order. I'm just going to kind of go what I was writing down here. So, I do agree. Mobley, I'm going Holiday instead of White because I just think Holiday brings much more. I'm not saying it's far apart from each other, but the defense that he had, he's got the ring with Bucks being that third option as well, basically, too, and then also getting one with Celtics. So, I'm giving him the edge there. I'm going to put this one in. I don't know how you feel on it, but I'm going to say it because I don't care, is Tyler Herro. Technically, he was the third option, but now that they got rid of Butler, he's basically the first or if not the second option and whatever you do there. So I don't know how you would really put him because when Butler,
that's why I didn't put it. Yeah.
Okay. Because before Butler was there, and so like all the season, you know, but of course Butler didn't play a lot, so I didn't know if it would count. So I've got more. I also put Norman Powell in there as well, and then here's where I'm kind of don't know who to put because technically now that some trades have or the past the deadline, when you got Sabonis, Levine, and DeRozan all on the same team, one of those are a third option. So I don't know which one you're going to pick for the third option, but to me, that's a solid third option, whoever you go with.
Sabonis.
That's who I actually wrote down first was Sabonis, and then I put Levine and then DeRozan as far as what I thought maybe. But so I'm going to go with Sabonis on that, and then I do have Reeves as well. So
only reason why I didn't put Sabonis because he literally just became a third option.
Just became the third option, right?
So like that's why it was a little bit. But yeah, like talent wise, obviously accolade that. I mean, that just by default he would be in that 5 spot. Same thing for Herro too. It's like he's been the second scoring option
pretty much all year because Butler's not been there that much. But
technically, last year, I mean, pretty much always.
Right.
He's been the second scoring option for the last 5-6 years.
I agree, but still, Bam is a better player than him, I think, as far as defense, offense, of course. So to me, he's the third option, second option with ball in hand, but third option on the team, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. In terms of that, in terms of player wise, but for real, I think it's some really good players, man. Some really good players, really good teams.
I want to ask you this: how come Bradley Beal didn't make the cut?
Not producing better than any of these guys. Paul George not producing better than any of these guys.
Okay, I got you. Because I wanted to say Bill, but I'm like, well, he technically just went to the bench, basically. Like, it's kind of hard to say you're the third best option when you're coming off of the bench now. So, but
transitions right into what we were talking about.
Okay.
Who will MNC choose?
Okay, awesome. Let me click it. Boom.
Who's been the most disappointing team?
Oh. Yeah, to me, the Suns. Let's just be honest. And the reason why I picked the Suns on this is because all three have been there for most of the season. Yes, there's been injuries back and forth with Bill and everything else. We know what's going on, but Embiid has been from the beginning saying that he's going to be every other day, basically, and then also been hurt as well. To me, Maxey is a solid player, Kentucky player, but I still think he's becoming that superstar. But to me, the Suns, Booker, KD, Bill, all three are superstars. Bill has taken a big drop from when he was with Washington, past superstar. And he's not holding up to what we thought was going to be when he came here. And he's not really been that superstar with the Suns. So I'm going to go with the Suns. Who are you picking?
I was trying to click on one of the links.
Oh.
So I'm gonna go with Phoenix just because they've been a trio longer, and they got smoked last year. They got swept in the first round by the Minnesota Timberwolves, and now they're on the verge of not even making the playoffs. So Phoenix is definitely the bigger disappointment. I disagree with you. I don't feel like Bill has ever been a superstar, been an all-star, but he's never been a superstar. He's never led a team to a conference finals.
We've talked about this, though. We use those words differently. Okay.
Yeah. But Booker and KD, superstars. They led their teams to finals and stuff like that. But still, all in all, we thought we had high expectations for this team. I had high expectations, but I talked about sacrifice. Who's going to be the defender? If it's going to be ISO, take turn basketball, it's not going to work. And that's exactly what the offense is. The offense is KD, go off, because it's going in at such an efficient clip. You just go in the ball, but they don't defend. They don't defend great. Budenholzer started playing Bo. We'll see what that does for his confidence. We'll see if he's able to reignite his confidence and become a guy, become a starter. Let's just start there. He should be starting. He has talent to be a starter, but the confidence, they said, is not there. So he's had some pretty solid games. He's had some pretty solid games over the last 4 or 5 games since he's been a starter. So if he's able to keep that up, that's great for them because he's not on he's not on an expensive contract. You can bring him back on a still cheap contract, and you can get the upside there. They needed a center. We talked about this since they became a team.
Yes.
I said since they became a trio, I said they needed a center and they needed a point guard. They brought in Tyus Jones. He's kind of like a starter 6-man. Like it's not really. I don't think it's him. That's what it is, but it's not really him. It's on Booker, Beal, and KD.
Yeah.
Because you have to come in. Since you have 2 players that kind of do the same thing, and Booker and Beal, they're shot creators, off the dribble, mid range. One of those guys have to sacrifice. Okay, you're sacrificing scoring. What else are you doing? What else are you highlighting to a higher level since you're decreasing this real fast because you have somebody else that could do that at an efficient clip since you're on a better team. And defense, perimeter defense, and locking in defensively and being a top defensive team has been unable to been their priority since they become a trio. And that's why they're a 500 ball club. They don't get stops. They constantly continue to put Nurkic out there when he's not good enough. He was not good enough. There's a reason why, he's still getting checks. Shout out, he's getting his checks, getting paid. He's with the Hornets now.
Yep. I actually liked the pickup of Nick Richards. I think just give him a chance to show up a little bit and see what he can do. Of course, he's also from Kentucky as well, but, he's got size.
Yeah, I know. He's a Kentucky guy. He's solid. I've been watching some Phoenix games. He's solid. He's not game-changing. Defensively, he's not from a defensive rebounding standpoint. I feel like it could be taken to another level. He's still a very young player, and there's really no reason why he shouldn't be able to do that. I mean, that's all he should be able to do. You don't have to go out there and score. You got scorers out there. So the other stuff you should be doing at the highest level. I don't know, but so. Because if I got KD and Booker as my teammate, I'm trying to do everything possible to build their trust outside of scoring.
Yes, if I'm Bo,
I need that guy. I need that guy out there on the court with me.
Yeah.
4 minutes left, down 5. We got the rock. We need to stop on the next possession. I trust that guy on the court with me. They haven't found those other 2 guys, and they haven't been able to consistently find those other 2 guys. But hopefully Bobo's 1-1. That'd be special. It'd be a special story.
Yeah, all he really has, if the confidence is a problem, like if you go out there and say, hey, I'm going to try to deflect so many passes and block so many shots and try to get some easy runouts, that should be all you have to do with this team. Block the ball and deflect the ball, and then you can still end up with 15 points just by hustling, and we'll see what he can do. Pick and roll, constantly lob up there should be open all day for him. Off ball screens rolling. Go ahead.
That's what he's been doing these last 4 games. That's exactly how he's been playing, bro. I don't understand what Budenholzer. I don't get it. What was happening in practice? Because I don't know. Maybe they were telling him to do something, and it wasn't. I don't know. I can't, because if he's coming in there after sitting on the bench for months, years, weeks, only coming in the game when they're blowing the team out or they're getting smoked. That's the only time he comes in the game. And then now you're giving him consistent minutes. He's giving you a double-double with like 2.5 blocks. You could have used that in November. So, and then you brought him back. I thought you were going to bring him back to play him. Yeah. But again, I don't know what's going on in practice. If he's not a great practice player, I don't understand what it is. But they figured it out. Now we'll see what it does for them. It's I don't know. I don't know if it's going to save their season. But again, because ultimately those 3 guys have to lock in and be like, we need to be the best trio of defenders. You're in the West. You could get away with that in the East. 28 and 27. You good in the East. You're good in the East, 28 and 27. In the West, you're not good. You could be the 11th seed and miss the whole playoffs. You're like, wow. You got KD, Booker, and Bradley Beal missing the playoffs? That's what type of narrative is that? That's
why they're the biggest disappointment. And 2, just think of that closing lineup. Booker, Beal, KD, Bobo, and Richardson. That is a tall lineup at the front court with KD playing the 3 or even Bobo playing the 3, but I'm going to have him at the 4 just for offensive purposes on the other end. That's a good defensive team with length on there. Bobo is very agile if he can get
point guard on that team,
though. Booker, he's ran it for a few years before.
Booker, yeah, but I'd rather have Booker score though.
I agree.
More yes, his playmaking is really good, but I prefer him being a scorer. I know, yeah, exactly. So it's just. But then we gotta look at the Sixers. This has been bad. They're not far behind. they're not far behind. Paul George, 2 points, 9 points, 11 points. He said he had an issue with his shooting, his shooting finger, one of the fingers in the shooting hand. That plays a factor. It's a human being. So I don't know, but it hasn't been great. Embiid. They should just shut Embiid down. To me personally, they should just shut the season down for the Sixers. Shut this whole season down. Shut the whole season down. Embiid came out, I think they're 20 and 35 or something like that.
20 and 34. They're in 11th place.
20 and 34. Embiid literally came out and said, I'm going to need surgery and it's going to be a long recovery. Automatic shutdown.
Yes. They're both in the 11th place. That's funny.
What are we doing? As soon as you say that, you wanted to play in the Olympics, you wanted to show patriotism for America, cool. We saw you out there with the big brace. He knocked down some big shots. He helped us win the goal for sure. Throughout that run, he played well. He knocked down some big shots. But if you're the Sixers owner, if you're a Sixers fan, and you're paying tickets, right? And this guy's he's not playing as much as he should be. If he's saying that, he's saying, I need surgery and it's going to be a long recovery. Why are you still playing him? He needs to just shut him down. Shut him down for the season. You're 14 games under 500. It's not like you went to the conference finals last year or the year before or ever under Embiid. So you need him as healthy as possible. Paul George not as healthy as possible. You need Paul George healthy as possible as well. He's been having injuries. He hasn't been able to stay out there. So the Sixers definitely one of the most disappointing. This is tough because they've both been highly disappointing. Sixers, it's been sad. It's usually mainly because of injuries. But for Embiid, it's like this is what it always is. Paul George too. Paul George too. He's been dealing with injuries here and there his last six years or so also. So, and they gave him that bread. They got two guys making over $50 million a year.
Oh wow.
Good luck.
That's
Good luck.
crazy. And I guess the reason why, for me with the Philly, why it's not so much of a disappointment is because since the process, it's always been a disappointment. I guess that's just kind of what I expect from them. The Suns, we thought would have an NBA Finals appearance by now, I guess. 76ers, we never really believed that was ever going to happen. But I do agree with you. It's disappointment for both teams for sure.
All right, we got one got to go, and then we do the error. We got to pick the errors.
That's a tough one. One
got to go. Tobias, Clay, Bradley Beal, Paul George. It's got like a two-parter to what we did just before.
It sure does. To me, it's Tobias. He had one great season, got paid, and then I feel like he's just always been on a team. But Clay, I think, is still relevant, playing great. Paul George has the potential to still be there. Bill, I still believe in Bill. Might be the Suns, but I still believe in Bill. But to me, Tobias is the least of these.
Yeah, I would still go Tobias as well.
Okay.
Like I said, for Bill and PG, it's just they went to the wrong team. That's just what it is at the end of the day. They went to the wrong team.
Yep.
And we're watching it in real time why it was a bad decision. And until that ends, it's going to be a tough road. But in terms of player for player, skill for skill, and Tobias is a good player. He's had a hell of a career, but out of these four guys, definitely that guy has to go.
Who would be the second to go?
Bill. Yeah, I seen Clay lock in big shots in the playoffs. Champion. 60 multiple dribbles. Less than 13 dribbles.
That's crazy.
Great defender. He has his nickname Game 6 Clay. We don't have a nickname for Bill, and I rock with Bill. He's a great player, but we don't have those type of nicknames for him. So, yeah.
I'm with you.
All right, last, who will MNC choose? Appreciate you guys rocking with us.
This one I think is tough.
Which era wins? Got Gen Z, Jason Tatum, SGA, Victor Wembanyama, Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic, Millennials, Steph Curry, LeBron James, KD, Jokic, Harden, Gen X, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Shaq, Allen Iverson, Baby Boomers, Jordan, Hakeem, Magic, Barkley, Bird, and Silent Generation, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Who we got?
Man, I swear it's so tough. It really is because, okay, Gen Z athletic, but no, not happening. Unfortunately, there's not really much size other than Wemby. That's my preference. It is what it is. Millennials, great team for sure. You got your bigs, and then you got your guards. Perfect lineup as far as a well-balanced 1 through 5. Gen X, you've got 2 guards. I don't know who would be the other guard for that team. Garnett, maybe a 3, possibly. Yeah. I don't know. So that would be my issue with that team. Obviously, the star power that they have is phenomenal compared to the rest of them. Of course, then you look at Baby Boomers, you got MJ, you've got Magic, you got Keem, you've got Bird and Barkley. Like, that's a solid 5 across all positions there. But here's what hurts me the most is the silent generation is we don't really know how good they were because we didn't get to see it. But when you have a man that allegedly scored 100 points in a game with the stats that he had, like averaging 25 rebounds, whatever, so many blocks with all that, pair him with the logo Mr. Triple Double, obviously the Mr. Rings, if you will. To me, they don't. Well, I guess Big O and Jerry West would be your guards. I don't know who would be your third guard, but I really want to say Silent Generation just for the fact of the unknown. Because how are you going to stop that team?
I don't see a lot of spacing in the Silent Generation.
I agree.
There's not a lot of spacing there outside of the Big O and Jerry West. So it's gonna be tough. Baby Boomers. Barkley had a mid-range. Hakeem had a mid-range. Jordan obviously had a mid-range game. They kind of a little redundant. Bird can space the floor. Magic is gonna, play defense, dime everybody up. They're just gonna play. They're gonna run the court because all these guys in their prime. I mean, they get stops. It's gonna be fast. Yeah, it's gonna be fast. It's gonna be super fast. So it goes down to the millennials, Gen X, and baby boomers. I mean, these are the three most significant eras in NBA history, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As great as the Silent Generation was, and how they paved the way for the next level. These three generations right there are the prime, the golden. So you got Kobe, Tim Duncan, KG, Shaq, and AI.
That's tough. Their problem is the lack of backcourt, in my opinion. That third, I don't see KG really playing a backcourt.
Is KG at the small forward?
Yeah, small forward.
I mean, he didn't have to shoot the ball. He just had to shoot a little bit more. But I mean, it's just like KD. I mean, because you would have to have him guard KD. So let's just go starting. Let's just do real quick. Let's just do starting fives between the three.
Okay.
Baby Boomers versus Gen X.
One, are we going like point guard, Magic, Steph, Kobe? No, I guess AI. I don't know. Kobe?
Man.
Because AI was a shooting guard too.
It's going to be tough. I'm going to go Baby Boomers because of Jordan and Hakeem. But Kobe and Shaq, obviously, I mean, it's just like one of the greatest duos ever. Tim Duncan. I'm going to go Baby Boomers because Larry, Jordan, and Hakeem Olajuwon, they were different. Gen X is my era. So then you got millennials, my era too. Right. So you got Gen X and millennials. I don't know. Shaq versus Jokic. That's a hell of a matchup.
I would rather go Gen X, but because the millennials are a solid 5, 1, 2, 3, or 4, like this, it's hard not to pick them in that because
like Harden's defense isn't great. With Kobe, he's going to be guarding Kobe.
Yeah,
that's gonna be rough. That's going to be tough. KG versus KD. That's pretty solid. LeBron can't. Tim Duncan can't guard LeBron in space. We know that. So
right.
That's kind of a wash. And I think Shaq. So what they'll probably do is it's just like who's going to guard Kobe. Because at least with the baby boomers, I could put Jordan or Magic on Kobe.
And you can't put Steph on him. And you can't put Harden on him. And really, you can't put LeBron on him because how many times did we see this? We go in ISO here, and we know Kobe ate him up.
And Steph's ability to off the ball, like we said, it's like who's going to run off those screens? It's going to be AI because you probably got to go. I don't know, man. It's tough. I'm gonna go Gen X. So then you got baby boomers versus Gen X.
Listen, I don't feel like you're putting any respect on the Silent Generation at all.
All right, so that's starting 5. Who do you think?
Listen, I mean,
who
Big O was a good guard. It's just, who's going to play that small forward position. But, I mean, still, my thing that I'm going with is some of the highlights that you're seeing now of Wilt Chamberlain. He was an athletic guy that we really underrated on his ability. 25 blocks, 25 rebounds, 14 blocks, and so many steals with all those points. Like, that's goes for a lot. But again, it's a different era where we can't really judge if that's legit or not, because there's people that now even speculate, was the 100-point even a thing, and then they make it up. But I'm just saying, if who's really going to be able to run up and down the court with the way they talk about Wilt Chamberlain? And of course, I'm just saying we don't know. But yeah, I'm with you with the baby boomers and the Gen X. But I'm just saying, if we really could see what that team really was like, it could be different, because it's hard. I've never really watched them play other than the classics. We see those every now and then, but I knew more of the baby boomers, Gen X, and up from baby boomers.
Right.
So
exactly, yeah. It's still disrespect to the past legends of this game that paved the way. But again, I just feel like that vibe they got there, spacing wise, it's like Bill Russell wasn't a shooter,
right?
He was a hustle guy, hustle rebounder, come and get it off the glass, and then Wilt Chamberlain, floor spacer, like Kareem is a floor spacer because of the hook shot, right? Not spacing.
Right.
I guess that'd be 3 floor spacers. So the math does work, but he's not a shooter. Kareem's not a shooter.
Right.
And then he's not a face up. That wasn't the face up game. So yeah.
All right, let's move back to the baby boomers, Gen X.
All right, man.
It's hard to
say it.
Man. So Kobe and MJ, right?
Right.
I know Magic?
I know Duncan and Hakeem. I know Duncan has more championships. But Duncan had a better coach and a better team. Hakeem didn't have David Robinson. This is rookie season. Right. This is like, if he would have had that, he would have definitely had more championships.
No disrespect to Duncan, because he obviously was Mr. Fundamentals.
Yeah, no, for sure. But Mr. Fundamentals before Mr. Fundamentals was Hakeem Olajuwon. So
right. Right. That's why he's still teaching bigs moves.
Exactly. So, and he learned from Hakeem Olajuwon. So, yeah. So I got Hakeem Olajuwon in that matchup. As great as the matchup as it is. Barkley versus KG.
Who you got on Shaq though?
Oh, my fault. I got Olajuwon on Shaq.
Okay.
We saw what Olajuwon did against Shaq in the finals. So it's just not like I'm not out of the realm of him stopping Shaq. As great as Shaq was, and he probably still averaged like 30. So Tim Duncan on Barkley.
Okay.
Yeah, Tim Duncan for sure. Tim Duncan for better matchup. And then you probably got KG on Larry Bird. It's fun.
That's just a tough matchup for both, I think.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup for both. Kobe and Jordan, this is like a wash. So then you got Magic and AI. I don't know if anybody was able to keep up with AI, man. He was fast, right? With Magic 6'9", he would have just backed AI down. He would have cut it with that. And it would have been easy. But floor spacing.
Baby boomers.
Yeah. Go with the baby boomers, man. Go with the baby boomers. Got Magic, Bird, Jordan, and Olajuwon. So yeah, this is tough. Baby boomers to millennials is the greatest generations of basketball ever, and that's why it's always compared to. It will continue to be so until the end of time. Just kidding, y'all. That wraps up the show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you guys, everybody that was stopped by. Check this out, Michael. Where can the people find you?
You can find me MD Lawson 00 pretty much on all social media platforms. You can also check out my other channel, Cats Chat. We usually go live Wednesday at 9 or 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, but we're actually going to be going Thursday this week because Kentucky plays tomorrow. And our guest that's coming on is one of the founders for Sea of Blue, and he will be at the game, obviously covering, doing his stuff. So, but he's going to be coming on the show Thursday at 8:30 Eastern time p.m., of course, and we appreciate that.
Great. You can find me on X at cjames9_ on Instagram at cj.james9. CJ versus the world on YouTube. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Catch you on the next one.
We appreciate you guys.